What's up, my good people of the internet, and welcome here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. I appreciate your patience this morning. One of the things that we were working on today is something that is part of my annoying moment of the week. So we're going to get into it in just a moment. Inside of MonPausPopcorn.com's What's Poppin'. You know, on Fridays we have a trio of signature segments that come to you, starting with the annoying moment of the week, proudly presented by Carvel DeWitt, 4322 East Genesee Street in DeWitt, New York. After that, we have around 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time, Lead, Learn, Evolve, Ad-Lib, and Deliver is what the acronym stands for, proudly presented by Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay. Today's topic is Don't Wait. So we'll talk about that. And then in hour number 2, we'll start things off at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, right around then, with the top dog of the week, proudly presented by Canine Kamp Dog Daycare and Canine Kampground Dog Boarding, the perfect place, the only place that I trust to bring Lily. So to bring your dog for short and long-term care, head off to Canine Kamp Dog Daycare and Canine Kampground Dog Boarding today. And of course, you can get in touch with the daycare at 315-437-7110. You can get in touch with the campground for dog boarding, for lodging for your dog for longer term by calling 315-299-4013. With that being stated, the top dog of the week, somebody I will be honoring at the top of hour 2. And we'll round out the show around 10:20 a.m. Eastern Time with my very candid, as always, conversation with Mike Aresco. This coming off of his decision to retire as the commissioner of the American Athletic Conference after the 2023-24 academic year, why he chose to do it, what went into it, what didn't go into it. We're going to be talking about it all. As you know, Mike is always very open, honest, and provides a ton of information here on Wake Up Call about the conference and about his leadership. So you don't want to miss a single piece of that as we talk about the grand scope of collegiate athletics. So make sure that you're here for all of that coming up at the tail end of the broadcast this morning around 10:20 a.m. Eastern Time. So with all of that being said, it is time to jump in to the annoying moment of the week. You know, one of my most favorite things to do every single week in our longest standing segment on the show. Longest standing Carvel franchise in America is Carvel DeWitt, who partners with us for the longest standing segment that we've had on Wake Up Call, which is, I believe, 12 years old. The annoying moment of the week. Incredible. Here we go.
Dan Tortora proudly brings you...
Is that for real? Are you kidding me?
The annoying moment of the week.
I really honestly, I don't know how to respond to this.
Presented by Carvel DeWitt, 4322 East Genesee Street. It's what happy tastes like.
Do you have to be that crazy? I guess so.
The annoying moment of the week, proudly presented by the wonderful team at Carvel DeWitt, led by Jay Cartini. My annoying moment of the week, I got a couple, so pack it in, folks, because we're going to have some fun this morning, as we always do. My annoying moment of the week, I'm going to start things off with automated phone company stuff, right? When you call a company now, not when you call Dan Tortora Broadcast Media, we don't do that, but when you call a company now, you don't get, let me, not every company. Let me be clear. Let me be clear here. Because the companies I work with, the ones that you see here on the screen right now, when you call them, you get to speak to people pretty easily, right? In a lot of ways, you call and there's a person right off the bat. But when you call some of these other places, right, that are in this wonderful world that we live in, you talk to an automated system. And you talk to an automated system for a long time. Hello. If you would like English, press 1. If you would like another language, press 2. It's usually Spanish. Press 2, right? Then after you press 1 or 2, then it says, hey, could you tell us in a few words while you're calling? Please give us the last 4 digits of your social security number. Then it's this, then it's that. Then hit 1, hit 5, hit 8, hit 2. Some of them I've tried to memorize so I can just call and just be like 1, 5, 8, 2, bang, 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 bang. Okay, now I can finally speak to somebody. Today I got a phone call from someone that didn't say what their job title was, didn't say why they were calling, just called from a number and then gave me a different number to call back, didn't give me an extension, didn't give me a way to get in touch with them. So I called the number that they told me to call, not the one that they called from, and I try to get in touch with this person. I can't find them anywhere, and there's no way of getting to them. And then it says, oh, just type in the letters of their name. So you start typing in the letters of their name, the phone rings, they say they're not available, leave a message. Well, I don't know if my message is to the right person. You said they're not available. Who is they? Did I call the right one? Does somebody have the same, starting first letters of the person that I just called? What is going on, right? So when you make these phone calls and you're talking to these automated services, you don't know if you're getting through to anyone, if you're getting through the right person. I don't know how to get through to the right person because they don't make it easy to get through to the right person. So we live in this world where there's all of this automated stuff where how do we get to people, right? How do I get to a person? So normally you would just call and you would hit 0. But these companies became very prepared for that. These companies now, they're like, okay, we know these people are just going to call us up and they're going to hit 0. Well, we don't want that. We got to make life a little bit more difficult for these people. So I don't know what their mentality was and why they did it, but now when you call, if you hit 0, it just refreshes the crazy menu that you already have to go through. It's like, hello, and it starts all over again. Would you like to talk to this? Would you like to talk to that? Would you like to talk to the mouse that lives underneath our building? Would you like to talk to a grape? Would you like to talk to someone who thinks they're a dinosaur? Would you like to talk to whatever? Would you like to talk to the aliens that were in Miami recently? We'll talk about that. Trust you. So this is the craziness of these automated services that are constantly being used and constantly a pain in the butt. And it was something that I was on this morning. I'm trying to call back somebody who called me, and I don't have a way to get back in touch with you. I don't have a way to reach you. You didn't give me a way to make this happen, and so you want me to call you back. I don't know why you called. You want me to connect with you. I don't know how to connect with you because of the fact that when you called and you left this message, you didn't give me a route to get back to you. And when you call the number, it's not simply put that you call that number and a human being, gosh forbid, answers the phone and says, hello, sir, how are you today? And I say, great, ma'am, how are you? And she says, why are you calling? And then I say, hey, this person called me. And they go, oh, okay, let me patch you through to their office. No, it's not how it works. It's more confusing now. It's more difficult now, right? You got an automated service for an automated service of an automated service that's automated, right? By the time you get done with all the numbers you have to hit, you're exhausted. You don't know how you got there. And then you might get put on hold. And then they might send you to the wrong person. Do you ever call an automated service, hit all the buttons to get to where you are trying to get to, and then the call drops? Been there. And you got to start all over again. Gosh forbid you're talking to an automated service and you're trying to pay a bill and you hit one wrong button. Now you got to start all over again. You got to go all the way back to square one. So one of my annoying moments of the week is these automated services. And listen, I understand. You're trying to get people to the right place. You're a big company. Yada, yada, yada. But you know what gets people to the right place a whole lot faster? When a human being, which we always talk about needing jobs, right? Every president, I'm going to get you jobs. We're going to get some jobs. Want some jobs? I'm going to get you some jobs. If you have a human being that's answering your phone call, well, we're a big company, Dan. Okay, but guess what? You got a bunch of people calling you a boop, 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 boop. No, employ human beings, sit them at a desk, and when we call and we tell you why we're calling, let that person deal with how we get there. They work for the company. We don't. We don't know how to get to certain places. We don't know. So I'll just call and go speak to an agent, speak to an agent, speak to an attendant, talk to an attendant. You don't know what word they use, though. They might use agent. They might use attendant. They might use employee. You have no idea. You don't know. You have to guess. But not being able to talk to a human being when you're calling, especially when somebody calls you from a company and they want you to call them back. Well, I would love to call you back. And I did call you back. But you don't know that I called you back because I can't get through to you. Because it takes 14 minutes to try and figure out the Morse code to get to the person that I'm trying to talk to. A beep, boop, beep, boop. Boop, 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 boop. Okay? It's so difficult. If you want us to call you, especially when you call us, then put a human being there. Because the woman gave me her name. So all I had to do was say, hey, I got a phone call from this company. This is the woman's name. And they say, okay, great. She's extension 47. I'll connect you now. Remember those days when you would call and you'd get an answer? When you would call and you'd ask a question and then there was a resolution? Instead of expecting all of us to know how to get through the vast array of landmines in order to get to whoever we're supposed to talk to. And don't do the digital thing where you don't have a person record something and you want us to believe it's not a robot, that it's not AI. You know? Hello, my name is Kim. What is the reason for your call? It's like, I know you're not Kim, okay? I know who you are. So, but that's one of my annoying moments of the week. My other annoying moment of the week is when you go to a restaurant and you pay a bill and the bill has change on it, right? You give them a 20. Let's say the bill's $19.63, okay? So for those of you playing the home game, let's do some math. If you give someone a $20 bill and the bill is $19.63, how much are you supposed to get back? 37 cents. What's up? Okay? So you say, because I'll do this, right? Let's say I have two 20s. So the bill's $19.63. I give them a 20 for the bill, so they're supposed to give me 37 cents back. Pre-COVID, people gave you change. Did you realize that? Pre-COVID, people didn't keep your money because they felt like it was theirs. So $20, and I want to tell every server out there, I tip respectfully, like very respectfully. I always try to take care. I'm giving you at least 20%. Oh, Dan, now it's got to be 30%. Oh, it's got to be 25%. It's stop, okay? It's 20%. 20% is nice, okay? I've been a server. I've had the people tip me 70%. I've had the people tip me, 5%, 10%, whatever. So, whatever it was not great. So, and it didn't matter if you did a good job. Some people are just cheap. So, and maybe some people don't have the money. Maybe they only have $21, right? We don't ever think about that. Like maybe somebody came here to eat and they want to give us a more of a tip, but they just lost their job or they're pinching pennies or, you know, the mortgage went up so they can't give as much. You know, not everybody's a bad person. Yeah, I think we need to get off of thinking that. I had to get off of thinking that. Not everybody's a bad person. You know, some people, it's just, hey, this is what I have right now. This is what I can give you. So getting back to it, here's the situation. Here's the scenario. Because it's happened to me twice in the same place, which makes me sad because I really like the restaurant. Don't worry. It's none of the companies we work with. But there's a place that I like to go to that happens to be a restaurant that they have in different parts of the country. And there's certain things that I really like that only they have. So I go to this place. My bill's $19.63, let's say. It was something like that. So let's just go there. So I'm supposed to get, so I give them a 20. So I'm supposed to get 37 cents back. I give them a 20. And then I give them another 20 and say, can you break this into a 10, a 5, and 5 ones so I can give them their tip? And they come back with the 10 and 5 and 5 ones and no 37 cents. That's theirs now. So you know what I do now? I go, okay, that's part of your tip. So that comes out of the dollar. And you get whatever's left. Maybe I was going to give you an extra $1. Now, I try to be fair, but this guy asked me if I wanted my change. He said, would you like your change? I said, yes, sir. And he still didn't bring me back my change. He gave it to himself. He thought to himself, this guy's going to give me a tip and 37 cents. Because what's 37 cents? It's 37 cents. What does Dan need with 37 cents? Well, folks, why do you think I take my change? I got asked last night at a gas station, do you want your 4 cents? I said, with the way the prices are in the grocery store, Abso-freaking-lutely. I always take my change. Not because I'm cheap. Not because I'm somebody who's, like that. It's because I was taught as a child that you be smart about what you spend and you take care of what you keep. You don't spend and then go, yeah, you know what? Take that money. Now, sometimes do you want to tell somebody, here's a $20 tip. It's supposed to be a $4 tip. If it's 20%, it's a $20 tip. Keep the change. Have a great day. Yeah, we do those things, right? When you have the means to do that stuff, you do that stuff. But why do I keep my change? Because I take that 4 cents, I take that 37 cents, then I go somewhere else, and let's say the change is 42 cents. Well, I have enough change now because I took the change, right? I took the 37 plus the 4, and that makes 41. And now I got 42 cents, and I happen to have some more change in my wallet, so now I'm good to go. I like having change in my wallet. Nobody has change. Pre-COVID, I would pay somebody the exact change, or I'd give them like enough change to give me an extra $1 back, right? So I would do that, and some people kind of look at you like you were some foreign person, that I was like Doc from Back to the Future, and I had some other currency they didn't understand. And I would give them change, and they would kind of look at it like, change? Who has change? And then during COVID, people were like, hey, man, they didn't really say anything. And then now, I should say, now in a few years after COVID started in 2020, I'll give people change now, and they'll say thank you. I'll give people change now, and they'll say great. So they say to take something good from every not great situation. I guess people appreciate change more now after we've gone through this COVID stuff. So I guess that's a good thing. But these places that keep your change, knock it off. Like, stop doing that. Unless we tell you to keep it, that's 37 cents. What's this guy gonna do? If he doesn't give it to me, he's cheap. Bro, I'm trying to give you a tip. I'm trying to give you, maybe your tip is going to be $3.60, and I'm going to give you $4. So I'm going to give you a tip, and I'm going to give you a tip that's above 20%, right? 20% is $3.60. I'm going to give you $4. So I gave you 20% plus 40 cents, but you took the 37 cents. So now what? I'm going to give you $3.60. Because you've already given yourself my 37 cents. So now you can figure that out. But see, this is what I don't like. Why don't they give change back? And then during COVID, what do people do now? When your change is 52 cents, what do they give you? A quarter. Well, this is all I got. I used to not freak out. I used to get nervous. When I was working as a server, and right out of college, and I had to give somebody exact change, and I didn't physically have the exact change, I'm walking around going, okay, who do I go to? Who has change? What can I do? Can I go to my boss? Can I go to here? Can I go to the register? What can I go? How do I make this right so that I'm good with the company and I'm good with this person because I owe them 39 cents and all I have is 32 cents, but I got to get 7 more cents. How do I get that 7 cents so that this person, I would do everything in my power to make sure these people are not leaving with exact money. I come from a mother who worked at a bank for many, many years. My mom's good at math. My G-mama was always good at math. She liked math. So mathematically, I try to be very sound, and I've always been a person that's like balancing my money, balancing my account. So to me, I was raised that you don't leave somebody a penny less of what you owe them. But now I go to restaurants, and they just keep the change. I'm literally, like, I think in my head, if it's under 50 cents or if it's under a quarter, not even that. I think if it's like under 50 cents, if it's under half a dollar, I don't know if this is like a company policy now or an unspoken thing that they tell each other without telling each other. But it's like if it's under 50 cents, you don't get the change back. If it's 19 cents, it's gone. If it's 10 cents, it's gone. I want my money back. I gave you money. You said 1963. I gave you a 20. So give me my money back. And there's some people that'll listen to this and go, Dan, that's cheap. Come on, Dan, it's 37 cents. Take 37 cents and say that every single day of the week, somebody doesn't give you back 37 cents. All right? There's 7 days in the week. I'm doing the math here. I'm doing real math. So 37 cents. So then that brings me to 21. That brings me to 25. So that's $2.59, correct? $2.59 for a week. Then you got $2.59 here. So then for 2 weeks, I'm going to put this together. That's $5.18. $5.18. So in a month, that's $10.36. $10.36 times 12 months. All right? So you got 12 months of $10.36. So let's just do, I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to go here. It's 21. I'm doing real math on the show right now, folks. I hope you're enjoying this. So we're doing that, and then we got this. So that's for 6 months, and then for 12 months, we're going to do it this way. And that is going to be $124 that you give up every year. With the way that everything is and the way the prices are now, are you willing to give up over $100 a year of free money? That's your money? Now, some people might look at that and go, Dan, it's $100. Who cares? Well, to a family that is pinching pennies, that's a lot of money. $124 could buy something that this family needs. So when somebody gives you change, I don't care if they give you, if the bill's $19.99 and they give you $20, you walk back with the penny. You don't be rude to that family when you give them back the penny. You don't look at them and scoff at them and go, psh, penny. Why does this person need a penny? It's none of your business. And by the way, you should have it back. And stop shaming people that do that. You know? Stop shaming people that are like, I want my 19 cents, my 37 cents, my 52 cents, my 43 cents. Okay? It's my money. Don't worry about what I'm doing it. Maybe I'm putting it into a rainy day fund. Maybe I'm putting it into a jar. Right? Maybe I'm going to use it at the next place I go to. It doesn't matter. It's your money. You don't have to tell people what you're doing with it because it's your money. And when somebody takes it because they just think, it's not that much to me, well, let somebody take money out of your pocket. Let somebody take an extra $1 from you every single day. Right? And then at the end of this all, how much is that? If somebody took $1 from you every single day, it's $365. You want to give up over $300 a year? You're asking someone to do a little bit less than that. And you think that's okay. Give people back their money. Okay? Because it's their money. And let's bring some prices down. Any person that is watching, and this is not a political thing. This is called common sense math. Common sense math. Okay? 1 + 1 is always 2. 2 + 2 is always 4. Anybody that tells you different is a maniac. Okay? And those maniacs should not teach children. They should not be around society. They should be in little bunkers by themselves where they can play fake math with their fake thoughts in their head. Whatever makes them feel good. Okay? 1 + 1 is 2. 2 + 2 is 4. 3 + 3 is 6. That's how it is. That's math. That's been math forever. It's math. Okay? Anybody that tells you that inflation is good, everything's fine, and things are getting better. What is better? Eggs, when I worked at Wegmans as a kid, eggs were 69 cents, 99 cents. If they were $1.29, people would be like, why are your eggs so much? Eggs got up to $6.99 in Syracuse. $6.99. So if they're down to $4 now or $3 now, yeah, inflation's gone down, but it's still far above the price of what we paid. It's double. It's more than double. If we're used to paying $1.29 for eggs and you get it down to $3, you can't say we did you a favor. You didn't do us a favor. You jacked up the price so high that even now that it's down, you're telling us, well, inflation's down, Dan, Kim, Sue, Pat, Steve, Joe. Inflation's down. Yeah, it is. But it's still up because it was $1.29. So telling us, well, yeah, we got to $6, but now we're back at $3. Isn't that great? No, it's not. It's still $3. My cereal Lily's dog cookies? Lily's dog cookies went up like $2 during COVID. In what world does that happen? You know, are we in a supply and demand world? Well, you know, Dan, her cookies are in high commodity. Really? Because her cookies were the same price pre-COVID, $2.99. That was it. $2.99. Then they're $4.99. They go up $2. So if they bring it to $4.59, they go, "Oh, Dan, we saved you 40 cents." No, you didn't, because the restaurant just took 37 of my cents. We saved you 40 cents. You didn't save me 40 cents. You charged me $2 more, and then you took 40 cents off that $2. I'm still paying $1.60 more. See, that's what people don't understand about basic math. The inflation that we have suffered as a country, even if it goes down, unless it goes down to where it was, it's not better. Right? If a pair of jeans in a retail store is $20, and you go to the store 2 weeks later and it's $40, and then they do a sale on it and the sale makes it $35, do you walk in there and go, "Thank you so much for the deal"? No. You say, "Why are my jeans $15 more?" Well, sir, they were $20 more on Thursday, but we're doing a sale on Friday. They're $20 more. They're still $15 more. Why aren't they $20? The sale is that I paid $20 for the last 3 years. So if I come in here and they're $15, now it's a sale. No. When you jack the price up, when you inflate the price, and then you give a few dollars off and say, "Look at the great discount I'm offering you," you're not offering me a great discount, because you jacked up the price and put a discount on it. You put lipstick on a pig. That's what you did. You made something not great look a little bit better, but it's still not great. Why don't we understand that as a society? Some of us just are like mice. We're just looking for the cheese in the maze. Some of us mice have wisened up to say, "I'll just go find my own cheese. I'm not going to go through their stupid maze to try and find this stupid cheese. I'm just going to go find the cheese myself." You know, we put ourselves in these situations sometimes where we just follow people blindly. And I watch stuff on the news and I say to myself, take the politics out of it. Let's just talk. Let's just talk as Americans. This is how we get back to a country. This is how we get back to loving each other. This is how I shouldn't say this is how we get back to, we have to love each other to get back to this. This is how we get back to being people. Human beings first. We're human. We're American. Or whatever country you're in. You're human, you're German, you're human, you're Italian, you're human, you're Ukrainian, whatever it may be. The way you get back to a strong society is that you educate the people, which a lot of people in the media don't do anymore. And I'm not saying that to rip on my competition. I don't consider them competition. If I tell the truth and you lie, you're not my competition. You're a totally different thing that I really would love to not be in society. I have never come on the mic and gone, "Hey, gonna lie to these people today." I can always be more educated. And if I'm wrong on something, I'm going to get educated on it. But I never would step to this microphone and go, "I'm going to give people misinformation. I'm going to lie and send you off in a direction because I feel like it. Because it's what I want." No. I'm going to tell you the truth, and you're going to decide what you're going to do with it. But take everything out of it. Take religion out of it. Take color out of it. Take nationality out of it. Take how much money you have in your pocket out of it. Take politics, all that stuff out of it. As a country, in the last few years, we have suffered. We've suffered from seeing each other's smiles. We've suffered of being trapped in our homes. We've suffered from not being able to travel and get from place to place. We've suffered from things closing down. We've suffered, some people, from losing our own businesses. We've suffered and struggled and been through all of this pain. We've seen a ton of death. Some of us have lost friends and family members, neighbors, people we work with, leaders, good people. And after everything we've been through, They jack up the prices and they force us to pay more just to live. Why do we just go, okay, that's fine. When I see cereal as $5.69, I'm not buying it. Cereal should never be over $4. It should never be over $4. The little ones, whatever, $2. The little tiny ones, or the little baby ones, those things should just be a few. I think they're like $5. Or they used to be $5. You could get the 8 different cereals. My mom used to do that for me all the time because I love variety, and I have a really cool mom. So when I go and I look at my cereal, that's like $2.99. If my cereal is not $2.99, it's $3.99 or $4.99. I'm sitting here going, okay, I don't really know if I want the cereal. But what do? They give you a deal, right? Now your cereal's 2 for $7. When in the heck was cereal $7? It's ridiculous. And don't even get me started on trail mix, because that was pre-COVID. You go to buy trail mix, for whatever reason, nuts went crazy. And it's like, I used to buy trail mix for like $3.69, $3.50, $13. What in the apple bottom is going on over here? But that's reality. Jacking up prices, blaming it on something else, and eventually getting people to fall in line. Well, you need gas. You need food. But stop believing that because they jacked it up so high and decided to take it down a little bit, yeah, it's better, right? If cereal that was $2.99 was $5.69 and now it's $4.99, yeah, it's better. It's better than $5.69, but it's not better overall. And I'm tired of seeing people suffer, and I'm tired of seeing division in our society. I'm tired of seeing people pulled apart because of politics and what they look like and what they love and who they love and all that stuff. I'm tired of all of that. All it is divide and conquer. Because if we all came together and we all loved each other and we all looked at this thing as a community of human beings that are all together and not separated into groups and sectors, if we were all in one district and not in all these district Hunger Games, then we would be understanding if we're all talking and sharing information. Because any time there's been any type of dictatorship that has tried to rule its people, it's by breaking them apart so that they could not band together and they could not share information. Go back in history. They don't want people to share information. Because if people share information, then they're going to realize something, wisen up, and they're going to band together to fight that. And I believe in peaceful fighting. But if you go to the store right now and you go, oh, thank God, meat is $10. It used to be $4. Yeah, Dan, but it was $20 during COVID. Yeah, 10's better than 20. But why aren't we back here? Right? We got to ask these questions. And we got to be together on this. We have to band together on this. Anytime somebody's tried to stop people from doing the right thing, those people doing the wrong thing would break those people apart. And we have to come together. Because you're going to realize something. Someone who's a different religion than you, a different background than you, a different nationality than you, a different language than you, who has different money than you do, they want the same stuff. They want to have affordable food, affordable health care. They want to be able to afford a vehicle so they can get to and from wherever they need to go. They want to be able to make enough money to pay all their bills and have a little bit extra money so that they can travel, so that they can do things they want to do. They want to have good education. They want their children to have a better life than they did. A lot of people want that. So when we're divided into all these pieces, we start thinking, well, those people don't look like me. They want different stuff. Well, those people don't worship what I worship. They want different stuff. Well, those people don't believe what I believe. They want different stuff. Now, if you walked into a store right now and you had people from all different nationalities, backgrounds, religions, and whatever, and politics, and yada, 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 and all this crap that separates us, if you talk to everybody, they would go, yeah, the jeans used to be $20. Oh, yeah, I know. They used to be $20. They were $20 jeans. And now they're $40. And now they're trying to give it to us for $35, making us think and rewire our brains that you did some service for us. When you took $15 out of our pocket, and now you're going, hey, it's fine. Look, we were taking an extra 20 out of your pocket. Now we're only screwing you out of 15. You're still screwing me. Share the information. Get together. Talk. Work this out. You have a First Amendment right of assembly. You have a First Amendment right to join together. So do it. My friends, the people I work with, it's not one group, one people, one belief, one. No. It's a bunch of different people from a bunch of different areas in a bunch of different walks of life, and we all come together. And it helps to educate me. Hopefully it helps to educate them, because we improve our scope of the world. We improve our scope of humanity. If you talk to people about all this stuff that's going on, if you talk to people about automated services, it probably pisses off a lot of people. If you talk to people about people that just keep their change in a restaurant, it probably pisses off pretty much everybody. If you talk to people about inflation and how they've been, oh, but we're saving you money because inflation was up and now it's down. Yeah, but it's not down to where it was. Most people are upset about that. We don't talk about that. I saw something on the news that said we all have an extra $1,700 in our wallet. I hope every single one of you looks in your wallet today, realizes you don't, in most cases. I mean, it depends. I'm a business owner, so there's no limit to the amount of money that I can make, right? So for me, maybe I do because I sign on a new partner. But I'm still spending more at the grocery store. I was still spending more at the gas station. Still spending more to travel. So, do I have an extra $1,700? I might have made extra money, but I'm also spending more. See, I'm making more, but I'm spending more. That's what they're not telling. You got an extra $1,700 from where? You got an extra set. The average American has an extra $1,700. I hope you all call BS on that. I hope you all call bull on that. That we all have extra money. Think about this. If you've been working at the same job for a bunch of years, and all your groceries went up, and your gas went up, and your travel went up, and you're on the same salary, you didn't make an extra anything. Because all the stuff you budgeted to pay for every month went up. Zoom went up $1. Disney Plus went from 3 years at $140 to 1 year at $140. That's insane. That's insane. A lot of us cut cable because cable was charging us $60, $70 a month. Now, if you put all the streaming services together, it's $120, $185 a month. You're spending triple what you left cable for. And you don't even realize it because it's $5.99 here, $4.99 there, $20.99 there, $13.99 there, and you're not adding it up. And they like that. They know you're not adding it up. Because if you added it up, if we talk to each other, we would realize this is insanity. That if I'm paying, okay, let's just do some math. If you got Disney Plus right now, you can get it. The lowest price is $7.99. If you have Paramount, and I like these services, I'm just giving you examples. If you have Paramount, I think Paramount's $5.99. If you have Peacock, that's $5.99. So for brass tacks here, just to make this easier, I'm going to call it $8, $6, $6, right? If you have Amazon Prime, it's $99.99. So I'm going to call that $100. And then if you have YouTube TV, that's $72.99. So I'm going to call that $73. So I'm going to add those up. So if you have Disney Plus, Paramount Plus, Peacock, as well as Amazon Prime and YouTube, if you had all those, not including Apple or anything else. If you just have these, monthly you're paying, that's 14, that's 20, that's 120. That's this, okay. You're paying $193 a month, and you got rid of cable that was at the time that I got rid of it was $69.99. You're paying $193 a month to have 5 streaming services, to have Disney Plus, Paramount Plus, Peacock, Amazon Prime, and YouTube TV. Because think about it. If you're a sports watcher, you might get YouTube TV, right? Get Amazon Prime because you get a bunch of perks. You order a bunch of stuff off of Amazon. They got original shows, so you got to have that. You got Peacock because you want to watch the new Ted show. You got Paramount Plus because you want to watch Big Brother, right? NCIS, whatever. And you got Disney Plus because you want to watch the Marvel stuff. So think about that. To watch Marvel, 1 TV show on Peacock, 1 TV show on Paramount Plus, to have a discount with Amazon Prime, and to watch your sports, you put that all together, $193 a month. But we're not talking about this stuff. Because when we talk about it together as a community, we start realizing how ridiculous it is. That's why people have city halls. That's why you have City Hall. And Greg, I know, I gave an example of 5 just to show you how outrageous it is. Greg said you got to add Netflix and ESPN Plus. Greg, I get it, because a lot of people have it. But what did I say? I said you gave up $70, $60 in cable to spend $185. It's $193. If you add Netflix to this, you add ESPN Plus, you're over $200. You're over $200 a month in streaming services. And they don't care, because Disney Plus is fighting with Netflix. Netflix is fighting with Amazon Prime. Amazon Prime is fighting with Apple. For you. But what do they do to the NFL? You can watch the NFL on YouTube TV, but there's games on Amazon Prime, and there's games on Apple TV, and there's games on Peacock. So you got to have all of them to watch the NFL. Oh, well, you could get DirecTV on YouTube. You could do this. You could do that. Right? It's insane. It's absolutely insane. But we don't talk about it. We don't talk about it. You know? And they all go up. They all went up. What's Disney going to say? Oh, inflation. Inflation. You know, it's the sign of the times. You know what company has not screwed people over for 11 plus years of being a business? You know what company has been good on prices to people? You know what company hasn't screamed inflation to their businesses? Dan Tortora Broadcast Media. I don't talk about it, I be about it. I don't talk about it, I be about it, okay? During COVID, I was like, I think I'm the only company out there that's not screwing people over right now. It's sad when I can't think of 3 other businesses that have honored, even, and like I said, with Zoom, what do you need the dollar for? Zoom charges you $14.99 to use one of their packages. They send me an email, we're going up to $15.99. You know, sign of the time. You know, I mean, it's life, Dan. You need $1? I've seen places before where it's like an extra 10 cents to 20. What are you going to do with the 10 cents? What are you going to do with the dime? Why do you need the dime? Automated services, keeping your change at restaurants, even when you tell them you want your change. My dad gave somebody a $100 bill on like a $30. It was like a $30 bill. He gave him $100. They go, "Do you want change?" My dad's like, "Yeah." What do you think? Your tip is $60? You think your tip is twice what the bill was? You're just going to walk back with the $100 bill, and if I don't tell you I want change, it's just have a good day? I mean, how... What is the mindset of that? Right? How presumptuous of you that this person, they gave me a $100 bill, the bill was $30. They gave me a $70 tip. Cool for me. He didn't say he wanted to change. What I'm talking about here, automated services, people keeping your change at the restaurant, and all this inflation nonsense. All I'm telling you about all this stuff is, if you put it all together, it's that we need to band together, we need to ask questions, we need to stand up for each other, and we need to show that we're unified. Okay? We need to peacefully come together. Peacefully talk about this stuff. Because these things are wrong. And they're inhumane. All the annoying moments of the week, all these scoops of the annoying moment of the week, proudly presented by Carvel DeWitt. All of these things are the automated. It's not human. Literally. Keeping your change, it's not something that you would want somebody to do to you. Inflation, it was $20, we jacked it up to 40, but we made you a deal and put it to 35. You should be really happy with us. All of this is inhumane. It's taking advantage of people at a weaker point in their life. Think about it. Everything we've been through over the last 4 years has tried everyone's patience. It's tried everyone's mental. It's tried everyone's emotional. It's tried people's physical. But it's true, Greg. And Greg, that's one of the greatest compliments you ever gave me. He goes, it sounds like a Sebastian Maniscalco bit. Because it's not right. And Sebastian Maniscalco is Italian, and I'm Italian. And I was taught in my household, and you could say it's Italian, you could say it's Hispanic, you could, whatever, because I have both. But you could say it's anything. Okay? When you grow up in a household, you're supposed to take care of it. Why do you think Italians grow vegetables in the backyard? Because we don't want to pay for them in the grocery store. And we don't spray pesticides on them in the backyard. We have dogs and cats. We're not spraying things on them. We're just growing them. We're letting them be what they are. We're cutting them. We're bringing them inside. We're seeing if they taste good. And if we have good ones, why do you think people do that? Okay, I bet you your mom and dad, if you are in your 30s or 40s or late 20s, I bet you your mom and dad know somebody, or they are the person that people used to go to for the tomatoes. It was my dad. Okay, my dad had a big old garden. My dad still got a bunch of stuff, but that's my dad. People went to my dad. They went to my dad for cucumbers. They come to the house. My dad would get a paper bag like you're in a grocery store. He would go to the backyard and he'd get the zucchinis and the cucumbers and the tomatoes, and we'd give them to other people's families. We were a grocery store, and guess what? There was never inflation. How about that? So you telling me, Greg, that I sound like a Sebastian Maniscalco bit is literally one of the greatest honors of my life. We're going to take a step aside for a fast break. I talked about the annoying moment of the week for a long time. We still got to get into lead. We still got to get into the top dog of the week. And, of course, Mike Aresco. All of that's coming up after this fast break on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Stay with us.
Hi, this is Amy from Mother's Cupboard, home of the whole frittata. We are open daily 6 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. For takeout orders, call 315-432-0942 and tune in to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora for our monthly food challenge and try our Wake Up Call signature menu item available 7 days a week. Here at Mother's Cupboard, we are Central New York, and it's our honor to serve you.
Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory remind us that every day is worth celebrating at 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York. Open Monday through Saturday in-store and always online at maandpaspopcorn.com. Serving our Central New York community and beyond, order anywhere, anytime at maandpaspopcorn.com. Stop in to get a tin at Ma and Pa's on 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York to get your half-price refills for the rest of your life. Come to Ma and Pa's for your holiday gift giving for family, friends, employees, and clients. And remember, for fundraising and events, to call 315-450-6272. That's 315-450-6272. Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory. How corny are you?
This is Jimmer Sikowski, owner-operator of Chick-fil-A Cicero, 7916 Brewerton Rd in Cicero, right in front of the Home Depot. I had a deep feeling that God wanted me to do something bigger with my life and to help people, help others. He kept putting Chick-fil-A in my life, and I realized as I was going through the franchise selection process that positively impacting the lives of others was really core to what we do here at Chick-fil-A. First of all, it starts with the food. The food is brought in fresh daily. We bring in local produce. We prepare to order in the kitchen. We hand bread our chicken. We hand spin our milkshakes. It's great food. It doesn't taste like fast food. I think the second thing is the way people feel when they come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. It's different. We try to treat people with intentional kindness here, which is very different and deeper than good customer service. And so I think it feels remarkable for most people to come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. And then lastly, the impact that we try to have in the community is very different. It's a big part of the expectation of every operator of a Chick-fil-A restaurant is that they're actively engaged in their community, they're a leader in the community, and they're making a difference. When they realize that what we're striving to do is to shine a little light in their life, that's a very, very different experience than you will have at any other quick service restaurant. And it's that remarkable experience that I think people will emotionally connect with.
Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. It's time to get into LEAD, the acronym that stands for Learn, Evolve, Ad-lib, and Deliver. A segment that was created right before COVID started. I think it was December of 2019. And by the grace of God, I was sitting there and I was thinking to myself, I want to create something. I want to do it, I want to do something special. And I kept thinking about, I got to have an acronym. I want to do an acronym that means something, but also the word itself means something. I didn't want to just have an acronym, where it's just letters. I wanted something to be like, okay, this has meaning as itself. LEAD has meaning as itself. It's when you see LEAD, a lot of people know what that means, and we're going to break it down into something special. I give God all the credit and all the glory for helping me create something like LEAD. Well, anything I've done. The Annoying Moment of the Week, LEAD, Top Dog, and LEAD standing for Learn, Evolve, Ad-lib, and Deliver. Today's topic is don't wait. Don't wait. What do I mean? What I mean is we put off a lot of things in our lives. We'll do it tomorrow. We're going to take that trip tomorrow. We're going to take that trip in a couple of years. We're going to do that. Because what happens? Right? We get older. We keep saying we're going to do it. We don't do it. Right? You might wake up one day and say, I've been in the same job for 32 years and I wanted to leave this job 7 years in. But I've been here for the last 25 years. Why? Because I got stuck. I kept saying I was going to do it tomorrow. And then there was a lot of tomorrows. And I got stuck. When people look at their lives, when they look at where they are, a lot of us would say, man, I really wanted to do whatever. I really wanted to be a screenwriter. I really wanted to make a movie. But I never tried. I just talked about it. Why are you waiting? See, at a very young age in my life, my grandfathers passed away. I was 6 years old. In 1992, both of my grandfathers passed away. I was a little boy. I was a little kid. At 6 years old, I was always older than I had to be. At 6 years old, I was thinking in my head, my grandfathers are going to see me graduate college. I can't even fathom when I think back on that, going, I was 6 years old. How did I even know what college was at 6 years old? But that was me. That was always me. I was always older. Like my mom said, you're an old soul. You've been here before. My mom's told me before, she goes, I think you're my elder. I think you're older than me. I think you've been around longer than me. And when you have these things happen to you, especially when you're little, you have this thing in your head of seize the day. Seize the day. Make the most of the day. Don't wait. If I waited to start my company, I could still be working for a bunch of people that didn't respect me, didn't like me, didn't value me, didn't care about how much money I made, didn't care about how talented I was. It didn't matter to them. It had nothing to do with them. It was not affecting them on a day-to-day basis. If they took care of me, if they lived by their word, if they did what they said they were going to do, or if they didn't, it didn't matter to them. I didn't leave places because I liked them. I left places because they were not good. I left places because they were dead ends. Because you could only go so far in that place. And I'm the type of person that pushes myself. If I get to the top of the mountain, I want to climb another mountain. I want God to give me something else that we can go do together. I want my entire life to be a journey with God back to heaven. I don't want it to be a journey sometimes. And I'm not saying I'm not trying to reach destinations and do different things. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying I don't want to sleep and I want to just keep going, keep going, keep going. What I'm saying is I don't want to waste my time. I don't want to wait if it's something that I can do. Now, there's certain things you have to wait on. You can't force yourself to have a husband or a wife, right? That's not going to create a good atmosphere. You can't force yourself to have children. There's certain things that you have to wait for, things that are out of your control. But the things that are in your control, don't wait. Don't wait to write that novel, right? There's so many things I want to do. But I'm a person where it's be about it. Don't just talk about it. Go do it. You tell people you're going to do something. If it's what you want to do, then do it. If it's what you believe in, then do it. If you would die today and think to yourself, man, I'm really mad at myself that I never tried to do this, that I never did this, okay? This is how you know the things you really care about. If somebody says, hey, if the person you're dating broke up with you tomorrow, what would you do? And if someone's like, they can't even get words out, they start crying. I'm like, I love that person so much. Okay, then that's your truth. If you go, if they leave tomorrow, who cares? I'll find another one. Then get out of the relationship. You know, there's people like, why are you in a job? Okay, it pays me good. Okay, but why are you in it? I told you, it pays me good. Okay, but you could get paid doing a lot of different things. Why are you in this job? What if you, okay, let's say you're a bank manager. Let's say if you work SWAT, you would get paid the same amount. So if it's all about the money, why don't you just go work SWAT? What's keeping you from working SWAT? Well, Dan, I don't want to drop out of a ceiling. I don't want to be over in Eastern Europe doing this, that, and whatever. I want to be home with my family. Okay. But as a bank manager, are you happy? No. Okay. Then what do you want to do? You know, what do you want to do? What do they always say? Children are blatantly honest. You want to know why? Because you ask them a question and they give you an answer. They haven't let the world do all these things to distort their reality and tell them that they can't answer questions honestly and they got to do this, that, and whatever, and they got to funnel this through. No, they just tell you. They tell you. And then we grow up and we start talking our things into things, talking our way into things, talking our way out of things. Why? If you want something in your life, don't wait. Go get it. Go get it. My dad and I have wanted to go to Italy for a really long time. There shouldn't be something bad that happens or something unfortunate that happens or something frustrating that happens to make us go to Italy. I don't want to go to Italy for any other reason than I love my dad and I want to go home. I want to see where my family came from. I want to meet my family if there's still people there. That's why I want to go. Not because of this or because of that, right? They talk about it all the time. This guy started living his life because he got sick. This guy started living his life because his wife died. Why are we waiting for things like that? We go to a funeral and we get checked, right? We get put in check. Man, my great uncle Pat, I think about my great uncle Pat all the time. All the time. I just talked about him yesterday. And he passed away. And in my head, he's still alive because I spent time with him and he was always there. But I told him, like, Uncle Pat, he was like, hey, I'm going to give you this stuff. I'm going to give you these old reels. Can you work on them? They got a bunch of family Christmas parties. Can you work on them? And I said, yeah, Uncle Pat. He goes, are you sure? I go, yeah, Uncle Pat. Because I was like, in my head, I'm like, I don't know how to do it, but I want to do it. I want to help him. And I said yes to something that I didn't know how to do. And he gave me the reels. And I didn't do them, and I didn't do them, and I didn't do them. And then I got something that I think will help me do them. I got an old editor that I could put the reels on. But then I lost the reels. Now my Uncle Pat's passed away. And I still to this day, I'm like, I got to find the reels and I have to do this. I told him I would do this. I don't want to go to heaven and have him say, why didn't you do it? But I wanted him to see him when he was alive. And I didn't do it. And I always wondered if I let him down. Because I didn't want to. See, we got to think about that in life. You got to think about the fact that when you don't do something, maybe you're letting yourself down, maybe you're letting somebody else down. We're supposed to keep our promises. We're not supposed to do bad things. But when we keep our promises on good things, why not do that? Why not go out there and chase after the things that you want? Stop waiting. Why are you waiting? What are you waiting for? To get older? What are you waiting for? To get tired? To be on your deathbed? Why are you waiting? I'm in a deadbeat job. I don't like my job. I'm with a person who doesn't support me. They don't love me. They don't treat me right. I have in-laws that drive me nuts, and my wife never sticks up for me. My husband lets me sit at tables and get berated. I always go home crying in the car. What are you doing? Why do you think you need that? Why do you think you deserve that? Why do you think that's your life? I was in a terrible relationship with an awfully abusive in-law group. Not all of them, but some of them. Some of them were great. But when I look back on my life, and I'm not saying this to defame or deface the person I was married to, I'm not even saying their name. What I'm saying is I was in a place where I was sitting here saying, this is not love. This is not good. This is not healthy. This is not what I wanted. I want to have a family. I want to have affection. I want to hold her hand. I want to kiss her every day. I want to smile and laugh. I want to learn. I want to grow. I want us to communicate. I tried and I tried and I tried and I tried and I tried, and it didn't work. And then I got to a point where I didn't want to try anymore, and I didn't care. And that's a really tough place for me to get to. People that know me, if I get to a place where you have done enough where now I don't care, and that doesn't mean I don't care about your health, safety, and happiness. I will always care about that. I care about hers to this day. But when I'm to a point where I just don't care, I don't care about what we talk about. When I don't want to talk, when I just want to be silent and I want to be left alone, that's a danger zone. It lets everybody around me know, like, he's done. That's what I mean by danger zone. He's done. I'm done. I'm out. Right? But there's people that talk about this stuff. The abusive in-laws, somebody that doesn't stick up for you, someone who doesn't support you, who doesn't love you, who constantly is on your case. Why are you putting yourself through it? I lived in it. I literally lived in it thinking to myself, I'm going to have a heart attack when I'm 40. I'm going to have a heart attack at 44 years old. If I stay with this person and their family, I'm going to literally have anxiety. I drove to the hospital in the middle of the night. I thought I was having a heart attack. Why stay in places where you are not appreciated? I'm not saying don't fight. Right? Don't fight to bring things together. I'm not saying you're not going to have arguments. No marriage is perfect. No friendship is perfect. No business relationship is perfect. Nothing is perfect except for God himself. Nothing else is perfect. Nothing. But there's a difference between I'm fighting for this and I'm just, me fighting for, let's keep with the example. If I fought to stay in my marriage, I would have been the only one fighting to stay in. She didn't put in effort. At times she did, but it went away. So I was fighting to stay with someone that didn't really care about anything except for money and travel and fun and drinking wine, and that was it. It was just, give me money, let me sit on the couch, let me drink my wine, and let me watch reality shows, and I'm happy. That's not the life I wanted. The life that I wanted was we need to work together. We need to grow together. We need to be each other's teammates. If your wife or your husband is not your teammate, it's not a good situation. If your friends are not your teammates, it's not a good situation. That doesn't mean that your teammates don't tell you when you're wrong. That doesn't mean, because your teammates should, right? Your teammate has to come up to you and say to you, man, you keep missing. When that guy goes to his left, you keep missing him. You keep letting him get by you. All of us have to collapse and pick up your guy, which leaves somebody open. He keeps passing to these guys, and these guys are making shots, and we're down by 15 points right now because you're not playing good defense. You have to do that. You have to do that. Why would you keep that to yourself? It's what's happening. You got to respectfully say it, constructively say it. Don't be mean. Don't swear at them. Don't yell. Don't put them down. But you got to tell them what's going on. Don't wait to do the right thing. Don't wait to chase your dreams. Why are you waiting? What are you waiting for? What do you think's going to happen by waiting? It's just time, and it's never coming back. So if you want to do something, if there's something that matters to you, if there's something that you care about, don't wait for somebody to get sick. Don't wait for something to not work out. Don't wait. Because when you wait and you wait and you wait and you wait and you wait, you end up being one of those people that lives with a lot of regret, and you just keep wondering why. Why didn't I do this? Why didn't I do that? I spent a lot of time with my grandmothers. I don't live with regret because I spent time with them. I spent a lot of time with my parents, so I don't live with regret. I spent a lot of time talking to my friends, so I don't live with that regret. I can do a better job. I can definitely do a better job. But I can say that I talked to Ross recently. I talked to Brendan. I talked to Isaac. I talked to Johnny. I talked to Joey. It's important to realize. I talked to Rob. It's important to, and I owe him a phone call. It's important to realize not to wait. Don't wait. If you're supposed to go to lunch with your mentor and it didn't work out this week, don't let a year go by. Send him a text message. Give him a call. Hey, I know we couldn't go last week. What do you got going next week? You got some time? I'll make some time. You got some time? Because you're going to look back and you're going to say, I wish I did this. I wish I did that. Chase your dreams. Go after the things you care about. Do the things that matter to you. You got one life. Stop. And even if you're reincarnated, what if you believe in that? What if you're reincarnated as a butterfly? Well, in my next life, I'm going to be a stand-up comedian. A butterfly's not going to be a stand-up comedian. Maybe to the butterfly community, but not as a human being. See, I'm a believer that if I want to be a stand-up comedian, even if I'm a butterfly, I'm going to make it happen. But you have to have that drive. You have to have that drive. Don't put things off. Do the things you want to do. I don't want to put things off with my parents, and then they pass away, and then I sit here and I say to myself, man, I wish I did those things with my mom and my dad. I don't want to put things off with a friend and then find out that they pass away and go, oh, man, I really wish that I went to go visit them more. I don't want to put things off and go, okay, I'm 80 years old, but I want to write a book, and now I'm tired and I don't want to do it. I had all these years to write a book. I said 50 years ago I was going to write a book. I didn't write a book. Do it. Who cares what people think? Stop caring about what people think. Do it. Because if someone is attacking you for chasing your dreams, if someone is attacking you for not waiting, if someone is attacking you for going after the things you want in life, you don't want that person's opinion because that person is doing something that you're not doing. They're not chasing their dreams. They're not going after the things they want. Miserable people are not the people that are making use of their time. Miserable people are the time wasters. If you come across somebody who is trying to stop you from living your dreams and being happy and being you, it's because that person is not living their dreams, they're not happy, and they're not them. I've never met a person on this planet that is a good, kind, beautiful, wonderful soul and also tries to make everybody's life horrible. The people that try to make your life horrible, they're not happy. They're not chasing their dreams. They're miserable. And they could turn around and tell you, no, not Dan, I make a ton of money, blah, 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 blah. No, if you're a jerk, there's a reason why you're a jerk. And if you're a jerk, I don't care how much money you have. I don't care what your house looks like. If you're a jerk, you're a jerk. And if you're a jerk, you've chosen to be one. Now, it could come from this and it could come from that. It could come from trauma. But you have a choice. And the people that try to stand in the way of people that are chasing their dreams and going after the things they want in life, it's because those people aren't. They don't want you to catch them because it reminds them that they're not moving. People don't want to see you run by them on a track because it makes them feel like they're going too slow. People that are wasting their time and aren't going after what they want in life, the people that are waiting, they don't want you to show them that there's an alternative to just sitting and doing nothing. Understand that. Stop letting people that say things and do things towards you that are negative stop you from going after your dreams. Every time somebody does that, every time somebody tries to make you second guess and make you question yourself and get paranoid and give up on the things you care about, it is because that person's not happy. And if you know that and you go into conversations understanding that and knowing that in your heart, knowing that in your mind, knowing that in your soul, in the fiber of your being, that the people that try to stop you from doing good things, I'm not saying people try to stop you from doing bad things. I'm saying when people try to stop you from living your dreams and chasing your dreams and going after what you want, instead of thinking about that person going, oh my gosh, somebody's against me. Why are they against me? I got to get everybody on my side. I have to have everybody. I have 99. I need 100. I got to get everybody. No, you don't. If you started walking into every conversation knowing that the people are rude, disrespectful, unkind, naive, ignorant, hateful, those are people that aren't going after their dreams. Those are people that are not happy. Those are people that's settled. You're making them look bad. By not waiting and going after what you want, you're reminding them that they're not doing that. If you walked into every conversation knowing that, you would stop caring about what negative and mean people say because you would realize that they're negative and mean because they're not doing it. They're not doing it. One broadcaster, thousands of opinions. I live that. One broadcaster, thousands of opinions. I'm right on a prediction 8 out of 9 times. The one time I wasn't, thousands of messages that I'm an idiot. Thousands of messages that I was wrong. But all the times that I've been right since, I haven't heard a single message from that person. They're not living the life that they want to live. And if you allow them to make you stop living yours, now they've succeeded in ruining 2 people's lives. They've already ruined theirs. They're trying to ruin yours. Don't let it happen. Don't wait. Don't wait. Okay? Don't wait. Because I'm a firm believer that everyone that's done anything in this world to be proud of had somebody say, don't do it. It's crazy. I don't believe you can. There's probably countless actors that were told they were never going to act. There's probably countless singers that told that their music sucks. My dad was told at a young age, at the beginning of his career in law, to choose another profession because he would never be a lawyer and he would never be successful. My dad retired recently after spending over 4 decades as a lawyer, protecting the lives of the innocent, taking care of the people that needed a voice, standing up against the bullies in every walk of life, being unafraid to do the right thing. And even if he was afraid sometimes, he still did the right thing. My mother wanted to be a flight attendant at 18 years old. And at 47 years old, my mom still wanted that dream. And she chased it. And she got it. And my mom's been working for the airlines for a really long time now. My mother's been working for the airlines. Think about this. For the better part of the last 2 decades, my mom has been working for the airlines in the air and on the ground. She wanted it.
She never gave up on it. She chased it. And people told her, why you want to do it at 47? Why you want to go after this? Why you want to travel? Why you want to do that? You got a family at home. You got this. You got that. Why do you want to be the head of this? Why do you want to lead that? Why do you want to add this extra work to yourself? Don't you have enough, Debbie? Why you got to do this? Why you got to do that? And you know what my mom did? She didn't listen. Do you know what my mom did? She fought for her dreams. And do you know how proud I am of my parents? I am extremely proud. Because you know what I can say that a lot of houses can't say? And it makes me sad that they can't say it, and I hope y'all change it so you can say it. Do you know what my house can say? There was 3 people that lived in my house growing up. My mom, my dad, me. 100% of my house chased our dreams, and 100% of my house caught them. And 100% of my house is still chasing things. My dad, still rocking. Mom, still rocking. Me, you know how we do here. 100% of my house isn't saying, I wish I did, but I ended up doing. No, my mom wanted to be a flight attendant. My mom wanted to work for the airlines, and my mom's been kicking tail with that. My dad wanted to be a lawyer, and my dad kicked tail with that. I wanted to broadcast. I wanted to go out there, and I wanted to tell stories, and I've just gotten started, and I'm 20 years in. Every single one of us in the Tortora household said what we wanted to do, and we chased it, and we caught it, and we keep catching it, and we're going to keep doing things because we're not the people that are going to sit and wait. Don't sit and wait. And understand that anybody that stands in your way, anyone that tries to be the quicksand to your dreams, it is because they are the quicksand to their own. If I went into every conversation with hateful, negative, just awful acting human beings, and I said to myself, these people are miserable. These people are quicksand. Why would I listen to quicksand? I would just walk out of it. If I actually went into conversations knowing the people trying to stop me are the people that have already stopped themselves, I'd feel bad for them, I'd pray for them, and I'd move on. I wouldn't listen to a single person that was trying to be quicksand. Don't let anybody be your quicksand. They don't matter at all in your trajectory. The devil sends quicksand. Maybe God sends a test. But you have a choice. And if you wait, I can promise you this. Those people that are mean to you, they're going to die away. Everybody dies. They're going to die away eventually. And what are you going to do? When you are on your bed at the end of your life, are you going to say, I'm so happy that all these people that hated me and disrespected me scared me into doing nothing? Or are you going to say, I'm not even thinking about those people. I'm surrounded by the people I love. I'm going to heaven to see the people I love, and I kick butt. When I go to heaven, I want there to be one thought on my mind. I can't wait to see these people I miss so much. I can't wait to see them. Big smile on my face. 150 years old. I can't wait to see Shady, Mordew, Cinnamon, G-Mama, Cammy, Pop Miller, Pop Cavino, Grandpa Bill, Papa Pandozzi, Uncle Pete, Uncle Peep, Uncle Bill, Uncle Pat, my 2 Uncle Tonys, Uncle Alex, Uncle Vincent, Aunt Fran, Aunt Chicky, Aunt Rita, Aunt Josephine, Aunt Mary, Jay Hammerin, Rob Edson, Dustin Rhodes, Fred Reed. At the end of my life, I don't want there to be any thought on my mind other than, God, thank you for an incredible life that was 1,000,000,000, billion, infinity better than I ever thought it could be and I ever dreamt it up to be. I'm ready to come home. And I'm ready to see those people and my dogs. I'm ready to see my family. I want to live such a great life that I got nothing that I'm going to want at the end. Don't wait. Don't wait. Floyd Little.
Don't wait. Live your life today. We're going to jump right into the top dog of the week because I know we're running a little bit behind here, so let's get into it. Top dog of the week, proudly presented by Canine Camp Dog Daycare and Canine Kampground Dog Boarding. I told you where they're at. They're in East Syracuse. They're right off of Bridge Street. The daycare is there for you. Canine Camp Dog Daycare on 228 Old Bridge Street in East Syracuse. You can call them for more information at 315-437-7110. That's 315-437-7110. You can also get in touch with the Kampground for longer-term care for your furry-loving friends, which you have to do for the Kampground on 242 Johnson Street in East Syracuse is call 315-299-4013. That's 315-299-4013. So make sure you give them a call. And, of course, you can also see them online and get more information for the daycare by going to K-9 K-A-M-P ground.com. Or, pardon me, I was thinking of K9 Kampground. For the daycare, K-9 K-A-M-P.com. If you want the campground, it's K-9 K-A-M-P ground.com. So once again, for the daycare, K-9 K-A-M-P.com. And for Canine Kampground Dog Boarding, it's K-9 K-A-M-P ground.com. So make sure you head over there. When you talk to them, let them know that Wake Up Call sent you. We appreciate them so very much. So make sure you get yourself out there to Canine Camp Dog Daycare and Canine Kampground Dog Boarding. My top dogs of the week are my parents. They've been my top dogs of the week before. I've mentioned them before on the show, and I'm mentioning them again. Because my parents, when I need them, they're together. My parents come together. They're a package deal. Everything that's happened in their lives, our lives, as a family, when something big is going on, good, bad, or indifferent. I don't even want to say bad. When something's going on, whether it's a challenge in our family, whether it's something, awesome, when we have something going on, when we're celebrating something, when we're working through something, we still do it as a family. We do it as the three of us. No excuses. We do it together. Yesterday was an example of that. When I went through my divorce, it was an example of that. I thought that my family would never eat. I jokingly had said, not jokingly, I had seriously said to a friend, I'm never going to get to eat in Cracker Barrel with my parents together again. And then I went through the beginning of my divorce. My dad came over. My mom came over. My dad said, what do you want to do? I said, I want some food. My mom said, where do you want to go? I said, Cracker Barrel. And right after I had said, I'm never going to have a family meal at Cracker Barrel again, I had a family meal at Cracker Barrel. We're a family. And when it counts, we're a family. There's families that are under the same roof that are not a family. That makes me sad. And I pray that that changes for you. I don't wish that that stays the same. There are families under a roof that are not a family. They don't eat together. They don't pray together. They don't talk to each other. But my family, in days like yesterday, I feel like it's proven that we're closer. We're three really strong people. We're strong alone. We are unstoppable. Unstoppable people. And when we get together, oh my God. I love my parents. I hope that you can sit here one day and your kids say this about you. And I hope you say this about your parents or your guardians or your mentors or whoever helped to raise you. My parents gave me pillars that I live by. My parents taught me so well that when they made mistakes, I knew they were mistakes and I knew not to do those things. My parents taught me that even when they're not perfect, because nobody is, they taught me how to be better. My parents taught me a lot of things. They took everything that God was teaching me and they've accentuated that. They've challenged me. And when we need each other, we don't even have to ask. That's when you know you have the best people in your life. That's when you know, and it's not just people. It could be my dog Lily, same thing. I don't have to ask her for anything. And that little girl knows my heart better than better than most. When you have people in your life that you don't have to ask to be there. You don't have to beg them to be there. You tell them what's going on in your life, you're welcome, Mom. You tell them what's going on in your life, and they're like, okay, what do you want? You know what my mom would do? I'd be on the phone with my mom. I'd be talking about something that's hurting my heart. I'd be like, Ma, this is really frustrating me. And she would let me vent. And you know what my mom would say? Okay, honey, where do you want to go for lunch? She heard everything I said, and she somehow reached out to my heart, made me feel like a little kid again. And she said, all right, honey, I know it's hurting you. What do you want to do today? What do you want to do? My dad. Hey, bud. You want to go to Kohl's? You want to go shopping? Just because we want to spend time together. We could buy a million things. You could buy nothing. You want to go to Kohl's? Why, Dad? Because I want to. Your top dogs of the week. Remember those. Remember those animals. Remember those people. Remember those businesses, those organizations, those teams. Remember your top dogs. And if you wonder who they are, it's the people you think about so many years later. My CYO basketball team at St. Joe's and Camillus, I still think about them and I still talk about them. Because I care about those guys. My friends in college, John, Mark, Steve, Brandon, I still think about those guys. There's really great moments. And you got to see them. You got to get through all your stuff. You got to see them. I told my mom this. I tell people this all the time. If you have somebody that you can call when you're pissed off, you got a blessing. You got somebody that's special. If you can wake up in the morning and have the greatest news in the world and you got somebody to call that's going to be really excited for you, that's a blessing. If you had terrible news and you're really upset and you're crying and you got someone to call, that's a blessing. I talk to my parents every day. I'm 38 years old. I'm completely, fully self-sufficient. I don't call them for that. I call them because I love them. I consider them friends. I believe in them. I trust them. And I know that they're going to shoot it to me straight. They're on my cabinet. They're on a very tiny list of people that I call when something matters to me. They get to see my whole heart. Right? So they're my top dogs. Because the way that they showed up at my house yesterday, there's not two better parents out there. It's plain and simple. God bless y'all. Thanks for being my top dogs every day. And thank God that you're alive, that I can tell you that and you can hear it. And I can hug you and kiss you and talk to you after about it. Families butt heads. Right? Everybody's got their moments. Nobody's perfect. But when your mother and your father call you up and they want to go on a trip with you, they want to get lunch with you, they want to get dinner with you, they want to hear about your day, they're proud of you, they cry when they talk about what you mean to them, you got some really awesome people in your life. Could be your parents, could be your siblings, could be your friends, could be your neighbors, could be your employers, could be your employees, could be your peers, whoever. Could be your teammates. If you got people that love you so much that when they tell you how much they love you, they cry, you got people. When you got a dog that you know would be your sidekick in paradise and also your sidekick in a zombie apocalypse, you got love, man.
When you got a cat that is by your side like Boom Boom is to my big brother Joey, and Marissa is to Papa Joe and Mary, and Shady and Mordo and Cinnamon have been as dogs to my family, love comes in all different ways. And when you have love in your life, and it is genuine and it is good, and no matter what's going on, it comes through. It always comes through. Always comes through. We have our ups and downs, and sometimes we need to check ourselves. We need to look in the mirror. We need to be better people. There's times where you have to figure out what's going on in your life, why you're angry, why you're sad, why you're depressed, what's bothering you, how it's affecting other people, and you have to do something about it if you want to be healthy and if you want to keep your relationships. Right? And when you have people around you that love you enough to tell you, hey, are you okay? What's going on? Right? Did you cry? You want to cry now? You need something? You want to laugh? When you have people and animals, when you have stuff that loves you, those are your top dogs, man. And I'm choosing my parents this week because of things that really move me. But I can choose my parents all the time. Not because they're perfect. Not because I'm perfect. But because when you know, you know. And when you got a place to lay your head, when no matter what's going on in your life, you argue with your parents, you this, that, whatever. If I needed my parents and I called them up and I said, I need a pillow to lay on and I need a bed. I need a place to put my head down, Ma. Dad, I am hurting. I just need a place to put my head down. My parents would do anything. They would move the earth. They would find me a bed and a pillow in the middle of the ocean. When you have parents that would lay down everything they have to take care of their kid, you got top dogs. I don't ever want my parents to worry about me. I got God. I got them. I got a great life. I don't ever want my parents to worry about me. But care about me, they do a really good job of that. They really do. And I'm so grateful that I can say, hi, Mom. Hi, Dad. I love you. Thank you. Thank you for wanting to have a relationship with your son, for wanting to be connected with me in our own special way, and for loving me up the way you do. Thank you for wanting to be a part of my life. And thank you that in every chapter of my life, you've wanted to be there. And that whatever adversity we faced, thank you that in the present time, which is the only time we can affect, you're both standing by my side and I'm by yours. I love being your kid. Top Dog of the Week, proudly presented by Canine Camp Dog Daycare and Canine Kampground Dog Boarding. Greg says he has a Top Dog of the Week. I promised him I'd mention this guy, so perfect timing to do it. Greg's Top Dog of the Week, the new offensive coordinator of the Cincinnati Bengals. The Cincinnati Bengals' new offensive coordinator. Who is that man? Cortland, New York's own Dan Pitcher. Greg said, wishing him the absolute best in his NFL coaching journey. Continues to be a great representative of Central New York. And Greg says he'd love to see him on the show. Well, Greg, you know how I feel about Cortland. Just went down there a little while ago. Could have made a phone call. Could have zoomed. But I said to Kurt Fitzpatrick, I want to come down. I want to see you. I want to shake your hand. And I want to talk to you. And he said, great. And we made it happen. And I am so grateful that they won a national championship. But I would have gone there to talk to him anyways. Want to know why? Because I love talking to people.
I love caring about my community, and I love when my community cares back. So, appreciate you. Love you all. I don't care about you to get the care back. I care about you because I care about you. But it's a beautiful blessing when you show love back. So, thank you for the love. Thank you for the appreciation. Thank you to my mom and dad. Thank you to Dan Pitcher for being another top dog of the week. Shout out, Greg. Good call on that one. And thank you to people like Greg who show up all the time to listen to my show and watch my show, whatever you're doing. When you're fishing, when you're on vacation, when you're at work. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening, because you're top dogs as well. Why are you top dogs? Because I appreciate the fact that you make me a part of your day. The fact that you say to yourself, you choose to be here. You go, I want to hear what Dan has to say. I was at an event last night. I had a guy come up to me, and he said, good to finally meet you in person. He said, you do a great show, Dan. Love your show. He said, good to finally meet you in person. And I said, thank you so much. That means a lot to me. Every single person that says, hey man, I listen to the show. I watch the show. I read your stuff. I appreciate it. You do a good job. Thank you for what you do. To all the parents, all the guardians, all the brothers, all the sisters, all the just fans in general. I appreciate that. Not because I have an ego. Not because I'm like, oh, I need everybody to look. No. Because I want to make a difference in this world. And when good people come up to me and they say very nice things, I appreciate that. Because it makes me feel like you're picking up what I'm putting down. So, God bless y'all. Much love. We're going to take a step aside. I know y'all have been very patient for this. My special Mike Aresco comes up right after this fast break. You don't want to miss a second of this. Mike Aresco has been the commissioner of the American Athletic Conference since before it had a logo and a name. Him and I have spent over a decade together. And he made the decision to retire in his early 70s, spend some time with his wife, travel. And we're going to talk all about it and the state of collegiate athletics right after this.
In these unique times, there are those in our community that give us a sense of normalcy and positivity. Pizza Man on 50 Oswego Street in Baldwinsville has been here for you for over 35 years and is here now. Call 315-638-1234 or order online at pizzamanbville.com to bring those familiar tastes into your home. And remember to come see our monthly on-site broadcasts centered around the community and our Baldwinsville Bees. Pizza Man in Baldwinsville. Any way you slice it, they are always here for you. Looking for your next ride? Look no further than Great Lakes Honda City, located on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Serving our community for decades, their new and pre-owned vast array of vehicles are available to you Monday through Saturday on site. To search from home, shop at GreatLakesHondaCity.com. Call 315-365-5576 to set up an appointment. That's 315-365-5576 for Great Lakes Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Great cars, great people, Great Lakes.
Our corporate purpose at Chick-fil-A is to glorify God by being faithful stewards of all that's entrusted to us and to positively influence all those who come in contact with Chick-fil-A. And what became increasingly clear from our success in Cicero is that people love Chick-fil-A. And also I think we recognized that, we had a great opportunity to grow the brand and grow our platform. I felt incredibly grateful when I was selected to be a Chick-fil-A operator. I think what it's meant for me, what I've come to realize on a very deep level is that this is a calling for me. It's not a career. It's not a job. The Lord called me to be a Chick-fil-A operator and to use these restaurants to glorify Him and to positively influence other people. I'm blessed. I'm very blessed.
Head to Chick-fil-A Clay on 3974 State Route 31 in Liverpool, New York.
Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Always happy to be picture in picture with this gentleman here, Mike Aresco, the commissioner of the American Athletic Conference. He has announced recently that he will be stepping away as commissioner of the American Athletic Conference. They are in their decade anniversary, 10 years. He's been here since before the conference had a name, before it had a logo. Came over when it was the old Big East, transitioned the entire conference, brought in institutions to make this a viable conference, lost institutions, brought new ones in, lost institutions, and brought more in again. He has always found a way to be a phoenix in the world of collegiate athletics. And so we have a lot to talk about today following the news that he will be stepping away. Mike, how we doing?
Oh, great to be with you, Dan. It's a quiet Friday, at least for now, but you never know, right?
Mike,
But great to be with you.
absolutely, man. I appreciate it as always. So, I mean, I got to ask you, why? Why now? Why step away in this moment?
Yeah, it's time, Dan. I'll be 74 in May, and been doing this for 40 years. Been working for 50 years. I did some other things beforehand, so consequently, it's been a long, great journey. No issues there. I've been happy about it. The whole college scene has changed, but that's not why I'm leaving. I just think it's time to go. My wife and I want to do some things. We want to travel. We want to, visit our grandchildren a little more, do some things we haven't been able to do. I've been doing football for 40 something years. And, at that point, you really don't get to do anything in the fall. You're so, I don't want to say bogged down. You're invested in it and you just can't, get away. So there've been things we've wanted to do, and you just never know how much time you have. I'm in good health now, and I feel energetic. I can still do this job, but it's just time to go. And Dan, there's always better to go out on your own terms than to get run out of town eventually. So I think it's good that at least I can do that. And they've been very gracious in the conference. Took some people by surprise because I still had some time to go on my contract and potentially could have, I guess, entered into another one. But at some point too, you want to pass the torch to people who are younger and are going to have more energy and more. I still have it, but it's not the same. And when you start thinking about retirement, you start thinking about the things you want to do that you haven't been able to do. I think there you have to really take a hard look, and I decided it was just time to go.
And and like you said, it's you weren't forced out. You made a decision to do this. I mean, you've been the face of the American Athletic Conference. You have led them on this P6 and then changing it to just power in general. You have worked diligently for over a decade in making an identity for this conference, building a new conference out of the shell of an old conference. All the work that you put forward, all the people that you have connected with, all of the presidents and chancellors and athletic directors, student athletes, coaches, this has been a passion project that has unfolded in the public sphere. How do you reflect on the fact that, all the work that you have done has been very tireless, very consuming, and at the same time, it's happened in front of everybody's eyes? I mean, we have seen this conference grow, and you have been the spearhead of this conference. How do you view the last decade and the fact that all of it, all of your work, a lot of people do work in the behind the scenes, the work of this conference is very much in front of a podium?
Well, it's a mixed thing, Dan. Reflecting on it, we've been incredibly successful, but we've also been the victim of our own success because we lost teams, right? Because we built them up, because the conference provided them a great platform to develop their programs, and they did it. I'm not going to argue they didn't do it and make the commitment, but I think the conference had a lot to do with it. And the way we ran the conference, the way we scheduled, the way we positioned the conference, the way we promoted the conference. And so we were a victim of that. And, but you still take great pride in the success we've had, because I never wanted our student athletes, as one of my guiding principles was I didn't want them to feel like second-class citizens. I didn't want them to feel they weren't nationally relevant. And we conquered that. They were. They were absolutely nationally relevant. Might be a little tougher now with the portal and the year in residency going away. That kept our teams together, and it's going to be a little tougher. We get poached a lot more now, especially in football. But I think all in all, it was a great decade. Now, having said that, I'd like to see the conference continue to succeed, and thrive beyond me. You build something and you take great pride in it, and you got great people here, and you want to see it go forward and go to even new levels. Not that that's going to be easy. My successor, I think, will have even a tougher job in some ways. Well, my job was pretty tough to keep it together at the beginning, and then to fight, for the relevance and the recognition all those years, and to deal with realignment so many times. But I think even my successor may have to deal with realignment again. This whole ACC thing is fraught. You just don't know what's going to happen in college sports. But again, having said that, I still think the conference has a great future. I'll try to help a little bit, but I don't want to. I don't want to get in the way of the new commissioner, Dan, and I don't want to be a full-time consultant. If they want me to help out in certain areas, of course I would, because this conference means a lot to me. And it's a great group, and it's a different group. It's not quite the same group that we started with. 5 of the original 12 teams will be gone as of next year. On the other hand, we've added 6 terrific teams, including now Army 7. And we're thrilled to have Army. So the conference, I think, is poised to do okay and to thrive, and also in this climate to endure, because I don't know, you never know when you're going to lose some teams or when there's going to be more realignment. But we're deep now, we're strong. We're still, I think, viewed as the premier P5 conference in terms of our revenues, in terms of our TV exposure, in terms of a lot of things. Competitively, you just never know from time to time. You just never know. But I'll always feel a great pride, but also I'll also feel a great, guess the word is always take interest in what the conference is doing. I won't have to grind away every time and worry about every single game and and deal with every crisis that comes along, but I'll be rooting for the conference. Let's put it that way.
So here's a 2-part question for you. Are you calling me as a candidate to be the next commissioner? And if not, who should be the next commissioner?
Well, if you want to throw your hat in the ring, I'll give you give you the names of our executive committee. That's the one thing I did want to avoid is anointing a successor or identifying a successor or picking a successor. They do want me to be involved to the extent that, I could give them some insights, and there might be some people I know that they're looking at, and maybe I have some opinions. I've been around a long time. I think we'd all like to find someone who I think understands who we are, what we have tried to do, what we're going to continue to try to do, and also who understands our culture and who will be good. I think we have an excellent staff here, and I'd like to see somebody who works well with our staff. I think we've got a good staff. We don't have office politics here. We've got a great group. They work hard. They represent the conference well. I would want somebody to come in and I hope not, they may want some of their own people, but you hope that they don't disrupt that culture. And then finally, they've got to promote the conference, Dan. I've been on with you. I don't know how many times over the years. I've been on Sirius Radio countless times. I've been with Feinbaum. I've talked to every reporter known to man, right? I've done everything I possibly could. But I also promoted the conference based on, I think, facts, based on what we actually did. Yeah. And, I have a photographic memory. I tend to remember all the different things. And that's useful when you're doing these conversations. But you have to have somebody who's willing to be aggressive and fight for the conference, because no one's going to do it for you. And you have to, do it in a way that is credible. You can't just say, oh, we're great, and not give any reasons why. And sometimes you have to, stand back. I mean, there have been a few years when maybe we haven't been quite as dominant as we were other years. But this year, when the SMU situation developed, I had to get involved. I just felt it was important to promote the conference and promote SMU because they deserved it. And I talked about all the reasons why they should have been in the New Year's Six. That happened many times over the years with the playoff, as you know. Yeah. But more than that, there have been other times when just wanted people to know what we were doing. Also, I would hope the new commissioner develops a strong relationship with ESPN and CBS in basketball. ESPN has been crucial to our growth and development. They're great people. We have great relationship with them. We've weathered realignment with their help. They've been terrific. We provide great value, but they've been good to us. And that relationship, I hope, continues because it's really critical to the conference. And then finally, you you have a good group here. I've been lucky, Dan. There've been a lot of presidents turning over in our conference, and all the new ones have been terrific. I mean, I've had great relationships with all of them. Same thing with ADs. We haven't lost quite as many ADs as presidents, which is a little surprising. Uh, but one cloud on the horizon, we lost coaches, and we replaced them often with very good ones. Uh, Coaches have built programs, built sustainable success because a Mike Norvell replaces a Justin Fuente, right?
Yeah.
You had a Luke Fickle come in, and you had others come in. The problem now is we're also losing players. We're getting players poached, not just coaches, and that's your heart. That's the heartbeat of your conference. That's the biggest thing, and I don't know the answer yet. We can bring in a lot of transfers. I don't like the chaos that's going on. I don't like the kids at 5 or 6 different schools, or maybe I'm exaggerating, but at least 4, maybe 5, some of them. I don't think it's healthy. I don't think a lot of what's going on is healthy, and yet we've got to find answers. We've got to find an accommodation that allows college sports to be at least something similar to what it was. People love those games, Dan. I mean, we all love to watch football. I mean, people are going to not watch Ohio State USC because it's a Big Ten game.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, you bring it up, Mike. I mean, so many things that are going on. You said you made this decision on your own. This was something that you wanted to do. You're in your 70s. You want to spend time with your wife. I can't help but ask you, though. I mean, we've had so many conversations where I'm sure it was stressful. I'm sure higher blood pressure, high octane stuff. I mean, you banged the drum for this conference, and like you said, gave it factual background. You've done that over a decade here on Wake Up Call with me. You've been very candid at all times. You've been open. You've answered all my questions. You haven't shied away from anything. You didn't give me a political answer. You've had to deal with a lot, though. So is the current state of realignment and, the Big Ten having almost 20 schools, the ACC, some people trying to potentially get out of their grant of rights, the SEC having 16, all of these things shifting around, that plus NIL, plus the transfer portal, and plus the fact that we're having an expanded college football playoff. But now the conversation is it 6 automatic of the highest ranked conference champions plus 6 at large, or is it going to be 5 and then 7 at large because there's no Pac-12 anymore? Did all of this kind of storm of chaos, did this at least have something to do with you going, I've had the high blood pressure, I've had the decade of doing this, I've banged the drum forever, and now I feel like college athletics is so out of control that I'm going to step away? Is there any connection to that?
No, there it really isn't. And I know that some people might find that disingenuous. They might say, "Well, it has to have had some impact on your decision." No, it didn't. Um, could it have? Sure. I mean, there's no question that you say, "Wait a minute," but I'm up for those challenges. The problem is, I am getting older. I'm, the travel starts to get to you. My wife and I, from mid-September on, it's every weekend at a game, every weekend here, I go to, countless meetings. We just had the NCAA convention. We've had other things, and so at some point you just say, look, I think it's time. I don't know. We never know. Our health is good, but you never know. Anything can happen. You get into your 70s. There are things we'd like to do that we've been putting off for a long time. Might be nice, be honest with you, Dan, to wake up in the morning and not have 30 or 40 voicemails, emails, texts, combination of those to deal with. In terms of the other issues, I mean, I think it's a challenge that I'd be willing to take on if I were younger and I were, not really ready to move on. So I don't think that's it. It really isn't. And I'll miss the people. You know, a lot of them are gone. A lot of the people I dealt with over a 40-year career in sports, and I've had a 50-year career working because I did a lot of things before sports for a decade. Um, a lot of them are gone, but a lot are still here, and a number of them are good friends, and I'm going to miss them, no question about it. I'll probably miss some of the day to day, but I'm in peace with the decision. And it's not because of what's happened, it's because of timing. And I talked to my wife a few years ago and said, you know, I'm not going to go. And she said, well, I can be the fall guy if you want, you know, tell everybody that I just want you to retire. And she did want me to retire at some point, but it was really my decision. And she's been great and supportive. Um, so, you know, I could have retired a year ago. You know, we've got a place in Sun Valley. We love it. We love doing stuff there. And I often found the last few, not so much the last few years, but the last few months, I once I was there, I felt comfortable. I said, why do I have to go anywhere? You know, and that's when you sort of know. I mean, Nick Saban talked about what prompted him to retire, right? Some of the things, and he's at the top of his game and does not have to retire, right? You know, I feel that there are a lot of challenges coming for this conference. If I were younger, I'd absolutely be, you know, fighting the good fight. But it's time to let somebody else do it, and somebody else that you know probably has more energy and you know a longer runway than certainly I would have. And sometimes some new blood's good, and a new person can take this thing to higher levels than I was able to. You know, I had some disappointments along the way. You know, we had some competitive heartbreak here and there, and as well as we did, you know, we didn't get to be a so-called autonomy conference, but we were ready to make the big push that I think probably would have succeeded, but for realignment hitting when it did. Um, and that could get restarted down the road, Dan. Not out of the question. I think we would all plan to do that at some point. But on the other hand, I think I would have stayed on if I thought the conference was in really bad shape and needed some shoring up, but I don't think it is. You know, we got Army in, we've got a good group of schools, they're all investing. Things, you know, we know there's some realignment coming down the road, but it's probably not going to come imminently. It'll be down the road. We got a nice office here in Dallas now. We're in good shape. Got a great staff, one of the best staffs I think I've had in a long time, maybe the best I've ever had. And so consequently, the things are in good shape. It's not a bad time to leave in that sense. We'll see.
Yeah, you know, and before I let you go here with Mike Aresco, the only commissioner we've ever had with the American Athletic Conference, you make all of these moves, you do all of these things, and you work tirelessly. You write a letter to college football about the need for a college football playoff expansion. You see the American Athletic Conference in the college football playoff represented by Cincinnati. You bring in Navy, who had been independent for over a century. You're now bringing in Army, who's been independent for over a century when it comes to football. There are so many huge things that have happened with this conference, and they go beyond simple season wins and losses. The Navy move, the Army move, getting in the college football playoff, everything that we've seen some tremendous coaches come through here, incredible student athletes, people that are playing professionally now. You know, there's so much to be said that if we go outside of the win-loss column and we look at the quality and the caliber of people within this conference that have spoken so highly of you, there's a lot to be stated in the respect of this, and why any of the institutions or coaches want to be poached by anybody comes from what you and your team have built in this conference. Why SMU is valuable, why Houston's valuable, why UCF and Cincinnati are valuable. So, you know, when I look back on over a decade, Mike, you didn't talk about it. You were all about it. You was talk about it, be about it. You were always about it. You went after it with morals and values. And it seemed like you didn't try to cut corners. You didn't try to do people dirty. You didn't try to get bad politics and nasty business. So not only do I think that you made a bunch of huge moves that were integral in keeping this conference afloat and even having it be a conference in the first place, but you did it with integrity and you did it with morality. And I think that is something above everything that we should appreciate.
Well, that's awfully kind of you to say, Dan. I mean, that's very flattering, and I really, it's much appreciated. But I think, in the end, we've had good sportsmanship for the most part in this conference, and at times when things broke down a little, we were very, very firm. I think, think when we had some scuffles during games, bowl games, or whatever, we cracked down, and
Yeah.
our schools bought into that. They went along with that. They did not want to have a reputation that we were all going to tolerate that. But more than that, the way I would sum it up, without getting too, global here, is we were a conference, of a very unusual situation. We were born out of realignment. We were the old Big East, though, and we did have a core. But I thought that core with the new schools was strong enough to really be a player with the other five conferences. Now, if that wasn't the case, then we'd have been spinning our wheels and we might have even done damage by trying to be something we could never be, right? But we were there. Competitively, we were right there. And while we had to strain financially, and we finally got a TV deal worth 450% more than our original one, which granted was undervalued, we were able to do that. So the first thing was the vision made some sense. A vision has to make sense. If we suddenly said we're going to be the SEC tomorrow, that's crazy, and we'd be it'd be a futile quest, and it would do more harm than good. But our quest made some sense. And then the second part of this was the most unusual situation I've ever been in. And I'm not talking about the fact that I had schools that were not, the marquee schools in the college football firmament over the years, or even basketball. Well, basketball, we probably had a lot more of that, clearly. We had some marquee value that we didn't have in football. I handled all the big schools and the big brands for 30 something years. I programmed all the big conferences at ESPN, and I programmed the SEC and others and other big games at CBS. I knew what the big guys were like. And suddenly I was in a situation where I had to promote so-called little guys, right? The guys that maybe didn't get the attention or didn't get the exposure. And so I set my mind to doing that. And I said, the heck with, I've got a different challenge here and I've got to accept that. And then finally, what really made this different, it wasn't so much that as this, because of realignment, because of the kind of Darwinian nature of college sports, I knew that virtually every school in our conference wanted to leave if they had the opportunity to go to a P5 conference or to go to a conference that had more money, more revenue, right, more exposure. That was just a fact of life. You could ask any one of them and they would be honest with you and say, sure, if we got a call from the Big Ten or the SEC or the Big 12 or the ACC, and in the old days, the Pac-12 when it existed, they would have gone. And so I knew that. And so how do you maintain camaraderie like that? How do you get people to come together? Well, you try to instill the concept that, hey, the best conference is the one you're in. Support that conference. Make it good. Make it the best you can be, and it'll reflect well on you. It'll redound to your benefit, to your credit. And if you do that, you're going to help yourself, but you're also going to help the larger group. And the other thing was making sure that the camaraderie remained. I didn't get angry with my guys for feeling that way. I mean, how do you feel when, kind of everybody, I've never been part of anything. At ESPN, we were growing. Everybody wanted to be there. At CBS, everybody wanted to be with us. We were in a golden age, with Sean McManus running it. And so I never had that experience. And then all of a sudden, here I am. The Big East might not have been that way if it had stayed together, but with this new group, it was like, wow, we've got to somehow, we're not P5 anymore. We're not BCS anymore. We've got to get back, right? So my goal was to get them back if I could. But I knew even then, other conferences are always going to have more money because of the nature of the situation. And I knew they'd want to go. And when we had that horrible dog and pony show back in 2016 with the Big 12, you remember that. It went on for months, auditioning teams, very public. It was tough. It was my job to say, look, guys, I understand. I know why you're doing it. You're not going to offend me. You're not going to cause me a problem. It may not look good at times. It may, not reflect necessarily well on the conference, but that's okay. I understand where you are. And I think that helped hold the conference together. And the fact that when people left, we never took it personally.
Yeah.
We had to be gracious and had to understand, like, they're all still friends. Gerald Turner was the rock of our conference as a president for 10 years. And all of a sudden, because he's going to the ACC, I'm supposed to disown him and act as though, we're enemies now? No, of course not. We're going to continue to be friends. The same thing with Cincinnati, UCF, Houston. Kelvin Sampson was one of the great people supporting our conference, right? Renew Couture, the president of Renew and Gerald go back to the very beginning. Cincinnati, Neville Pinto, and then the ADs there were terrific. Chris Pesman and others. So you really have to just, and by the way, it wasn't easy. No, I'm human. I mean, you don't like to see people leave. You don't like to see people looking for greener pastures. You don't like people to not necessarily feel that this is their permanent home. But that's the reality of it.
Yeah.
And you just had to deal with it.
So, final note here, Mike. I mean, you're obviously going to be with us through the 2023-24 academic year. You got some more time, obviously, as the leader of the American Athletic Conference. Where is the AAC stationed in the expanded college football playoff? How confident are you that there is going to be representation moving forward in an expanded playoff? And what are the biggest issues affecting collegiate athletics as you have a few more months to be a part of this?
Yeah, I think in terms of the playoff and all, it gives us an opportunity we didn't have, because 8 out of 10 years we'd have been in it, and probably should have been in it this year if there was an expanded playoff. It'll be a fight, like it always has been. It's never been easy. We, sometimes by the skin of our teeth we got in with terrific teams, because you're dealing with 50 or 60 other teams that are fighting you for that spot. So it's not going to be easy by any means, and yet there is an opportunity, and we're a good conference. And if we maintain that reputation, then I think a team winning our conference, with a good record, will have a shot. As far as college sports goes, Dan, we're getting really, really hurt by court decisions, by legislators jumping in areas where maybe they shouldn't. We are at a point where we've professionalized this thing, and it's heading toward even more professionalization, which I don't know. Again, people love to watch the games. I'm not sure they're going to care that much that a player's getting paid this or that. But it's all the transferring, all the different things, all the dislocation, all the chaos. It's not necessarily good for what we're doing. And it's not really what college sports was meant to be. So I'm hoping, as I said, we can find an accommodation for that, because right now it's become pay to play. We don't want employee status. We'd rather avoid unionization, because that's tough on coaches and the kind of development they're trying to do for their kids. It's hard when you have that dynamic to work with. It's one thing in professional sports, where these are, adults who've, they're all in their mid 20s, late 20s, 30s. It's not, you're not talking about 18, 19, 20-year-old youngsters who are still developing and still, getting their footing in life. And, they get a tremendous education, and they get a tremendous sense of their potential and their training. I mean, people like Nick Saban have, as Nick said, these kids created value for themselves with his guidance, and that's a great thing. But the sheer professionalization of it is probably going to lead to some things that aren't necessarily good. So we've got to try to figure out some accommodation there. And then finally, we're going to have the gambling thing is going to be, I just worry about it. It's something that we're going to have to try to get a handle on. We do have integrity services looking into everything, and maybe we can deal with it. I mean, I hope we can. I mean, I don't want to be pessimistic about that. But I do think it's definitely an issue going forward. And then finally, there's this whole business of realignment. I mean, how much consolidation can we bear before it just gets ridiculous? It's not the college sports anymore. I love the golden age of the CFA, when you had all these different conferences and they were all regionally based. Those days are gone, but they don't have to be completely gone. And if we can work through that, I think that will help us. And then you also have the issue related, in addition to realignment, you have the idea that some schools just don't have the money to compete anymore. And can we keep Olympic sports as healthy as they've been? Can we do those things in view of these court decisions that could potentially bankrupt us? I'd like to see some antitrust protection, because I'm tired of the courts, and the courts don't seem to understand that we're a competitive enterprise, Dan. Yeah. I think you understand it. We've developed competitive equity for 40 years. We don't want 100 10 schools to be kind of out in the cold, and only 10 schools dominating everything because they can they can bring in all the players, they can generate all the best talent. That's not what you want. And that's what I think we're heading toward, unless you get some standards. All of life has some restrictions in it, right? We can't all just do exactly what we want. And that's not a bad thing, but to have just chaos and have complete, it's not even freedom anymore, it's just license to do anything you want, in college sports is not the way you're going to get the kind of, structure that you want. So those are the kinds of things I think and there are others. I mean, there are clearly going to be others. It's not just realignment. It's other things that are going to have an impact on us all. The P5G5 divide is something I've bemoaned for a long time. Is it really great to have half your football players, being made to feel like they're second class citizens? Like all these guys talking about a G5 playoff. I don't want a G5 playoff. We're not a separate group. We compete at the highest level. If you're FCS, you understand you're FCS, and that's fine. And boy, it's great. FCS has great football and great competition, but that's not who we are. And so that's another. I've been trying to get that point across without really the kind of success I would like in terms of just let's try to make sure that everybody's included in this and everybody. The NFL's genius has been that the Green Bay Packers, a little place, up in Wisconsin, was treated the same way. Were treated the same way as the New York Giants or the Dallas Cowboys, right? The Tennessee Titans and the Carolina Panthers and the Jacksonville Jaguars are treated the same way as the Chicago Bears and the Washington Redskins and big market teams like LA. And it's genius because everybody cares about all their games. When an NFL game is on, people watch it. They don't necessarily care which teams are playing because they don't really feel anybody is a second class citizen who's not worth watching, right? And so, that's something that I would like to see also be addressed by the people in college athletics. What happens to the NCAA long term? I don't know. That's more a structural thing. I think there'll be some form of NCAA. You have to have some regulation, and that's my final point, Dan. Be nice if the courts, the legislatures would have let us handle our business within a certain parameter, within reason. We didn't do anything that was really bad in my view. Okay, NIL. You can see why we didn't want NIL because all it became is pay to play immediately.
Yeah.
True NIL without get rid of collectives as far as I'm concerned. With true NIL, a few guys might get endorsements here and there or get into a video game and get some money for it. But you wouldn't have what you have now, which is essentially pay to recruit. I don't care what you call it. That's what's going on. No one's kidding anyone. You can fudge it. You can say it's not really that, but that's what it is. And so that's troubling. That's something that I think we're going to have to deal with. But do I think that people just love college football and college basketball and some of the other sports? You're seeing tremendous interest in women's basketball. You're seeing tremendous interest in gymnastics and in hockey and in softball and all sorts of other sports, volleyball. Great interest. People love to watch sports. They love college sports. I hope they still think it's college sports because if they ultimately don't at some point, then you might have a problem.
Yeah, a lot of great points, a lot of great words. As always, I know you have a busy go up here with the schedule, but I want to just make one final point. I know you and I will be talking soon, and I'm sure we'll have many more to discuss. I have an idea that I will shoot you a message about that I think would be really great to do with you, but I just want to say this in this conversation in closing, and I'm not saying this because you're on the screen. I'm saying this to the world because it's true. I'm saying it to the God I believe in. You believed in me over a decade ago when I was building my business. When I was building from scratch, you were building from scratch. When you were creating something that didn't exist, I was creating something that didn't exist. And you and I talked about it in Rhode Island. We stood in that room. You treated me with kindness, with generosity. You have always been open, honest. You've always made time for me. You have made me feel like the red carpet's been rolled out every single time. The content of your character has never been questioned by me, nor has there ever been a reason to question that. And I put my arm around you over a decade ago, and I said, Mike, we're redheaded stepkids. We're going to do this thing together. And you have done this with me this whole time. Whether you're doing this, you're, hanging out in Sun Valley, or, whatever you may be doing in your life, you always have a place on this show. You always have a friend in me. You always have an opportunity
to get a response back to every phone call and every text message. I can't adequately say in a closing remark here all of the things that you have done right, but just know that you took a young man and have seen me grow throughout this process, and you have been a huge part of this. You have been a massive piece of my coverage to the nation and to the world. And because of you, my life is exponentially better. My career has taken huge paths. I have inroads with fantastic people all over the place. You will never know the opportunities, the bridges, and the amazing relationships that you created simply by being kind to me and consistently doing that. I am indebted to you forever that you saw something in me and cared about it enough to facilitate it, to grow it, to fan the flame, and to always be in my corner. And because of people like you, whatever success I have in my life, I will always turn back to people like yourself and say that you were a part of it.
Well, Dan, that's awfully gracious and awfully nice. But I'm thrilled for your success. I'm really happy that you've had a great show that's grown. And Dan, when we first got together, you were sincere. You had a true interest in the conference, and why wouldn't I reciprocate that? And by the way, the fact that you may not have the following of Sirius Radio or Feinbaum is irrelevant to me. You do a great show. You've got a good following, but even if you didn't, I think you do a great job. You're knowledgeable. You always know what the right questions to ask. You followed our conference. You supported our conference. You actually, it's kind of mutual. You actually showed interest in us, and I was happy when anyone did. And yet, you also showed that you would do the research. You do the homework. I've enjoyed being on your show because one, I'm talking to somebody who does know the issues, who does know what's going on, who did have a real interest in our conference. And why wouldn't I be on with you regularly? And you're a good person, you're a good guy, and that really makes a difference, I'm sure, to your listeners, to your viewers. You've got the interests of college sports at heart. Not everybody does. And it's been a pleasure to be on with you. And that's the thing. I'll miss, maybe in retirement you'll have me on as a throwback, but the point is I definitely miss some of the interaction I've had. And, with you being on your show has been a lot of fun over the years. I've always wanted to make time for it because, again, it's a chance to talk about the issues with someone I like, I respect, and also who understands what we're trying to do here. And that's critical. I'm thrilled that your show's done well. You deserve to have the show do well. You put a lot into it. Somebody once said, if you're not sincere, you're nothing, and I think you sincerely care about what you do. That's why the show has been successful. So no, really, you shouldn't be thanking me. You should be pleased with what you've done. And I just, been happy to be a part of it. And, I hope you have years and years of success. I'm sure you will. And I hope my successor appears on the show as much as I did, if you'll have them, or her. Could be a woman. We don't know who's going to be the commissioner, but whatever happens, I hope that they continue that tremendous relationship that we've had, and appreciate your friendship. That's the other thing, been getting a lot of, notes and calls from people I've dealt with, after 40 years. I mean, even people that probably don't like you will send something nice to you just to be nice, But the point is, I've got a lot of friends who've said a lot of nice things and have sent a lot of nice messages, and I will miss that part of it. I mean, you wouldn't be human if you didn't. But it's been great to be, and many. The reason I mention it is many have said we've become friends. It's not just a business relationship, And your friendship means something. And I've seen you on the road from time to time. But again, continued success with your show.
Yeah, everything with you too as well, Mike. Please give my best to your family, to your wife. And I don't blame her. I blame the fact that you guys want to do nice things together. So the blame is off of her. But you and I will be talking soon. Thank you for all of your tremendous and kind words. And I take them to heart. They mean a lot to me. And you're in a list. There's been a lot of people on the show. You are on a very short list off by itself that is always close to my heart and always top of mind. And I can't say it enough that you are one of the good ones, and you are somebody that could have been a janitor, a pilot, or a commissioner. The fact that I got to cross paths with you is a blessing from God. I don't take it lightly, and you will always have a spot on the show, but more than anything else, I hope I get invited to Sun Valley to at least sit on the porch for a minute. So
Yeah, but open invitation to come anytime. You absolutely do. And again, you've done a great job with the show, and I hope you continue to get great guests because I know they enjoy being on. And I've seen some of your clips, where you've had some really interesting people who made some news, and all the best. And to you and your family too, Dan. All the best going forward. Have a great, rewarding year. Again, I've got 5 months to go. I'm sure that we'll have a chance to chat. Be a few issues down the road. CFP still has to get wrapped up. That may even happen during my tenure. And how we resolve that. And there'll be some other issues too. So I look forward to it. And thanks again. Have a great weekend in the meantime.
yeah, you too. Be well as always, Mike. Thank you for everything.
Great.
And God bless.
Thank you, Dan. Take care. Hang in there.
You too. Avicoli's, located on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road in Liverpool, New York, has been your trusted neighbor for decades. Located just steps from Liverpool High School, we're happy to have the Liverpool Warriors on-site, on-location broadcast at Avicoli's through Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora every single month, featuring student athletes, coaches, and administration throughout the year from Liverpool High School. Head out to Avicoli's today on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road in Liverpool, New York, open Tuesday through Sunday for lunch, dinner, and drinks. We'd love to see you out there, and of course you can call them at 315-622-5100 for takeout, delivery, and catering. That's 315-622-5100, and also find them on myavicolis.com. That's myavicollis.com. Having peace of mind when you're out of town that your furry-loving friend is safe and sound means taking them to Canine Kampground, because we all know that when it comes to the love of our pets, it goes well beyond the call of duty to make sure they're safe and sound. Right, Lily? So take a ride to 242 Johnson Street in East Syracuse, New York, and see Canine Kampground and where your dog will be staying, in the classic cabin, the executive cabin, the grand cabin, or of course the luxury cabin, because if you know Lily, you know she loves luxury. Now you don't have to wait to the last minute to find a family member or a friend that'll take your dog for a few days. Call Canine Kampground at 315-299-4013. That's 315-299-4013. Their drop-off and pickup times are Monday through Sunday. Check K9Kampground.com for more information. That's the letter K, the number 9, and Kampground spelled with a K.com. K9Kampground.com.
When you're going out of town, bring your dog to Canine Kampground.
PB&J's Lunchbox, the food truck that you love finding all throughout central and upstate New York, now has a street-side cafe. So when you're craving their traditional favorites as well as their out-of-box amazing menu items, you can now head to 663 Old Liverpool Road in Liverpool, New York. Located just minutes from the highway, the Thruway, Destiny USA, and Onondaga Lake Parkway, PB&J's Lunchbox Street-Side Cafe is there for you Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m., serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner all throughout the day. Get breakfast for dinner, dinner for lunch, whatever you fancy, including their award-winning grilled peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Find them at 663 Old Liverpool Road in Liverpool, New York. PB&J's Lunchbox, where we love to know what's in your lunchbox.
Carvel DeWitt, it's what happy tastes like. Do you know why? Because we make ice cream. creamy, rich, flavorful ice cream. Not yogurt or iced milk like some of our competitors. Ice cream. Fresh, by hand, daily. For the calorie conscious, we have something new for you. Our new Carvel. Same great flavor, creaminess, and texture of our regular ice cream with only 35 calories an ounce. So whether you want an ice cream cake, flying saucer, dasher, carvalanche, hard or soft ice cream, we will satisfy your craving with our fresh, handmade regular or new Carvelite ice cream. Carvel DeWitt. It's what happy tastes like.
The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is located on 3680 Milton Avenue in the Home Depot Plaza. It is your family-friendly sports bar and restaurant. Folks, some sports bars aren't family-friendly. Some family-friendly restaurants are not sports bars. The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is proud to be both. It is that marriage that you've been looking for years. The Wildcat Sports Pub is your home base for your sports bar and restaurant needs, games for the kids, indoor and outdoor activities, and enough things on the menu to come back every single week and get to try something new. They're open Sundays from noon to 8 p.m., Monday through Wednesday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Thursday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to midnight. For reservations and party information, call 315-487-2222 for the Wildcat family-friendly sports pub and restaurant.
GG Cards and Breaks. Like, comment, subscribe.
GG Cards and Breaks coming to you on 639 Delmar Place in Syracuse, New York, right off of Teal Ave. Open 7 days a week. They are not just a sports card shop. They're a community. They're a place to go to just build not only your collection of sports cards that you love, but to build relationships and bonds in Central and Upstate New York and beyond. If you want to know the reach of GG Cards and Breaks, we had trade night last night at the Wildcat Sports Pub, and there were people that drove over an hour just to be there for trade night, to be a part of that community, to get together. Because that's what it is. We're buying, selling, and trading with each other. We're getting to know people. I got to know so many people through this. People come up to me at this event and is like, hey, Dan, how you doing? Like they've known me for a long time. Hey, Dan, what's up? You know, what's going on? We might have met once. We might have met a few months ago. They might follow the show. And then like, hey, man, you might appreciate these cards. Hey, what do you think about that? Hey, I know you're an Arizona fan. Hey, I know you're a Jags fan. What do you think about this? That all comes from building a community of people that care. And it's easy to find good people when you're around good people. GG Cards and Breaks, they're good people. I want to thank Josh and Anthony, as well as Joel, Alex, and the entire team at GG Cards and Breaks for all that they do 7 days a week to bring us fantastic products and even better service, and the fact that they just care. It really means a lot, and I can't say enough about it. I tell them all, it's hard for me to not go in there every day because I enjoy the people. I enjoy what they have. I enjoy the connections we get to make. And it's just nice to be around people that want to see you doing well, that remember things about you, that ask about you. When you come through the door, you're not just a customer. You're somebody that is now connected to GG Cards and Breaks. How can they help you? What can they do? You know, it means a lot to me. Being a person in business and always wanting to help people my whole life in some way, shape, or form, I pay attention to the people that go the extra mile. And GG Cards and Breaks, to me, they go the extra 2 miles. 639 Delmar Place. Make the extra mile to go visit them today. 7 days a week, Monday through Saturday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., Sundays from 10 to 5. And, of course, you can go on to ggcardsandbreaks.com for more information. We look forward to seeing you there. We want to thank everybody that came out to trade night. We had a record-setting night. I don't think there was an open table, and there may have not been a single open seat in the new part on the Wildcat side, that expansion part of the Wildcat on 3680 Milton Avenue in Camillus, New York. I don't think that we had an open table in that entire room, that entire banquet room. Absolutely incredible, the amount of people that showed up and the amount of cards that were there. All of the things that I saw was just absolutely amazing. Our first trade night a couple months ago at the Wildcat Sports Pub was fantastic. This one had even more people, and it was absolutely wonderful to see so many people loving the hobby
and building friendships and getting to know each other. That's what I'm all about. That's what Gigi's all about. That's what the Wildcat's all about, is bringing people together, seeing people smile, and having people enjoy their time with the businesses that we work so hard to bring to the community. So big time thanks to the Wildcat, big time thanks to Gigi Cards and Breaks, and a big time thanks to you for coming out and being a part of it. With that being said, here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, we are with you every Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time on YouTube.com and Facebook.com, both /WakeUpCallDT, and on WakeUpCallDT.podbean.com. Once we go live, the shows jump to the archives. You could find a bunch of editions there, and there's more to come on Amazon Music, Audible, iHeartRadio, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts. Player FM, Podbean, Podchaser.com, Podvine, Spotify, TuneIn, and YouTube. All you got to do is search Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, or one word, Wake Up Call DT. And a big time thanks to our incredible partners who I implore you to go out and visit in our central and upstate New York community. Carvel DeWitt, the Wildcat Sports Pub, Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory. Go and try their awesome flavors. They got a lot of great stuff going on at Ma and Pa's, and right now they want to know from you which one you're going to choose. And I'm going to be putting up videos today about this because I taste tested them all. Do you want bourbon kettle, raspberry chipotle, or blue cheese to be the new flavor that's going to be on site all throughout the week at Ma and Pa's? You get to choose. Your vote counts. Go into Ma and Pa's, 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York today. Say, DT sent me over. Tell them you want to try out their new flavors, and you get to taste test each of those flavors, and you get to vote on which one's going to be the newest flavor. And I'm super excited about it. I did my vote. I know what I voted for. I don't want to cloud the pool here, so I'm not going to tell you. I want you to vote openly, but I'm going to put up the videos today so you can see what it's all about. Go and do it. It's a lot of fun. Ma and Pa's is always doing really fun stuff. They have great flavors. I call it the snack capital. It's where I go for my snacks. I go there for my chocolate-dipped Oreos. I go there for cotton candy. I go there for their lemonade. I go there for the kettle corn and the popcorn and the premium corn. So many great things at Ma and Pa's. You got to go out there. 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York. Everybody likes a good snack, right? And with all this streaming stuff that we're watching, you got to have a snack with you. And what better thing than to have some awesome treats and support local and small business. I have my Chicago popcorn with me when I'm watching my shows. And Chicago is orange cheddar mixed with, it's the orange cheddar popcorn with that, like, you know, like the orange, like the shaker on there. So you got the orange cheddar popcorn and caramel corn mixed together, and it's called Chicago, and it is fantastic. If you follow us on social media, like many of you do, which I thank you so much for, you can see that I did a really cool thing where I buckled in my popcorn to get my Chicago popcorn home safe and sound. Go and get your stuff today at Ma and Pa's. Gigi Cards and Breaks, PB&J's Lunchbox, Avicoli's, Great Lakes Honda City, Pizza Man, Mother's Cupboard, and of course Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay, Canine Camp Dog Daycare, Canine Kampground Dog Boarding. Get my ice cream, the DT Dolphin, to celebrate your dolphins and celebrate your taste buds all throughout the week at Carvel DeWitt, 4322 East Genesee Street in DeWitt, New York. The only place with an exclusive Sunday for the Lemoyne College Dolphins. How about that? And go to Mother's Cupboard and get my sandwich today, the Cuse McMother. The Cuse McMother is available daily, 6 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. at Mother's Cupboard on 3709 James Street in Syracuse. It is bacon, egg, and cheese inside of 2 pieces of French toast. Pick it up and eat it like a sandwich. Cut it up and have it with some wonderful syrup today at Mother's Cupboard, like so many of you have had. The Lemoyne College Dolphins are our exclusive multimedia marketing partners with us here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. You'll find the Dolphins every Wednesday during Dolphin Time. Wednesdays at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. First and third Wednesday of each month, AD and DT, new episodes with Athletics Director Bob Beretta and myself, Dan Tortora. And, of course, on the second and fourth Wednesday, the Dolphin Dive, diving into stories of student athletes, coaches, administration, future Dolphins, and alumni. All of these specials available by subscribing to our YouTube channel on youtube.com/wakeupcall DT. And of course, hit the notification bell. Check out the playlist for Lemoyne content. You can also find Lemoyne on wakeupcalldt.com underneath exclusive partners. For more information on your Dolphins, go to LeMoyneDolphins.com. And as always, fins up. The Bryan and Stratton College Bobcats of Syracuse are exclusive multimedia marketing partners with Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. You will find your Bobcats every single month on Wake Up Call. All you have to do to find your Bobcats is go to youtube.com/wakeupcalldt, hit the notification bell, as well as click subscribe. And we have our BSC Syracuse tab that is there for you. The playlist for Bryan and Stratton is under BSC Syracuse Bobcats on our YouTube channel, and you can also pay attention to all of our social media to find out when our next special with the Bobcats is going to be airing for you. The Bryan and Stratton College Bobcats of Syracuse, inside of the Bobcat Buzz, men's and women's basketball, men's and women's soccer, baseball, esports, all of the wonderful things happening in such a unique campus and a unique opportunity for students and student athletes. Bryan and Stratton College of Syracuse is truly on its own. It's a special, to me, a special gem that we get to highlight, we get to polish, and we get to put out right here in front of a spotlight in the community and beyond. They have players, student athletes from all over the world. It is an amazing, amazing thing that you can come to Syracuse on James Street, go to Bryan and Stratton College of Syracuse, and interact with people from all over the world. It is truly an amazing experience, and I feel so honored and privileged that we have a college here in our community, in my hometown, that allows us to get a little piece of the world, all over the world, right here in Syracuse, New York. Bryan and Stratton College Bobcats, where they win championships in the classroom, on the field, and on the courts of life. And, of course, in the gaming world, looking forward to all that is to come. Bryan and Stratton with the Bobcat Buzz. Find it on our YouTube channel. Go to wakeupcalldt.com. And under exclusive partners, click on BSC Syracuse. For more information, go to syracuse.bscbobcats.com. And as always, go Bobcats. With that being said, here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, yet another show that flew by, and yet another show where we're almost at noon. I might as well just say that Wake Up Call is 9 to noon instead of 9 to 11. I feel like we have been heading there for the last 2 years. But it's awesome. Inside of MonPawsPopcorn.com is what's popping. Thanks to Jay Cartini and his team with the Annoying Moment of the Week, proudly presented by Carvel DeWitt. Thank you to Jimmer and Betty Sikowski and their team with Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay, bringing you Lead, Learn, Evolve, Ad-Lib, and Deliver, with today's topic being Don't Wait. In the Annoying Moment of the Week, we talked about a bunch of different topics. Automated phone, as well as people keeping your change when they owe you change when you go out somewhere in public, and inflation being less inflation, but still inflation, but we're supposed to be thankful that it's less inflation, even though it's still inflated. So those are the annoying moments of the week, something to think about. And of course, honoring my mom and dad with the top dog of the week, proudly presented by Canine Kamp Dog Daycare and Canine Kampground Dog Boarding, the two absolute best places to bring your dog for long and short-term care. Short-term care at the daycare, long-term care at the campground for dog boarding. And a big-time shout-out at a guest that is constantly been a part of the show for many, many years. I can't believe that him and I have done interviews for over a decade. It honestly feels like we met a few years ago. Mike Aresco, an absolute treasure here on Wake Up Call, a very valued friend, and somebody who I am more than honored, blessed, and privileged to talk with all throughout the year for many, many years. Mike's one of those guys where you can't help but want to support and want to talk with him, because in a world where you look for honesty, you look for integrity, you look for morals, you look for values, you look for people who care about other people, who are passionate, who have humility, who want justice, who want fairness for everybody and equality. There's something to be said about how Mike Aresco is simply Mike Aresco. And everything that is Mike Aresco that I have been around it gives me a breath of fresh air and hope for the future, for sports, for humanity, for leadership, for people. Mike's a special guy, and the American Athletic Conference is a very special conference, and I'm honored and privileged to cover them. And I'm honored and privileged for the opportunity that he's given me to be a part of his world. He has always been extremely open and honest, given me a ton of information, made himself available, and I can't thank Mike enough because he's Mike. It's as simple as that. It's the best compliment that I can give to somebody is everything that they are is what you look for in other people. And so, Mike, all the credit to you and your team and everything that you've done at the American. It is my absolute, without doubt, blessing and honor and privilege to talk to you. And you took a chance on me back in the day. I took a chance on the conference, and, you know, you want to help good people. And that is what connected me to Mike. That's what gravitated me toward Mike, is you want to help good people. And helping him has created over a decade of conversations that I value every single one of them. And, I mean, I'd have Mike on the show even more. You know, I mean, to me, there's people in this world that I feel like are just, they're just good people. They're special. They're people that, you know, you aspire to be around, you aspire to learn from and grow from. And Mike's one of those people that if he's in your life and he's touched your life, you feel all the better from it. So thank you, Mike, for everything. And I'd like to think we've only just begun. So big shout out to Mike Aresco and the American Athletic Conference. I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you for spending your week with me. It's been such a wonderful time. I look forward to seeing you at Lemoyne this weekend. I look forward to seeing you out at the Dome this weekend. I look forward to you watching the football games this weekend. Don't wait. Go after the things you want. Spend the time with the ones you love. Put yourself out there. Take calculated risks. And don't be afraid to trip up when you're chasing your dreams. Love God. Be proud of that. And whether you believe in God or not, God believes in you. And God loves you. Facebook at Wake Up Call DT, X at Call DT, Instagram at Wake Up Call _DT. God bless, no stress, do your best. Please have a beautiful day. Please be safe and good to each other. Be good to yourself. And go and check. I'm going to share it on all of our social media. Go and buy our products. Go and get our merchandise. We have awesome stuff with Wake Up Call, Superpowered Pop, Do Diz with Dan, Comic Book Trails, and Dan Tortora Broadcast Media's company stuff. We have my quote on the back of t-shirts as well as sweatshirts. God bless, no stress, do your best. Go and get yours today. I love you all dearly. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. I send you love. If you feel like you don't have it, you got it from me. You got it from God. Why do I say I love you if I don't know you? Because we're all one family. We all came from the same place. God willing, I want us all to go back to the same place, back to heaven. And why do I tell you I love you? Because I want the best for you. I want you to be happy. I want you to be healthy. I want you to be safe. I want you to live your life to the fullest. I want you to chase your dreams and catch them. I want you to have more than you could have ever dreamt of. I want you to be surrounded by love and goodness. So to me, if I want all those things for you, that sounds like love. So I love you all. I hope you have a beautiful day. Thanks for your love back.